This guy was a programmer, exploited by the corporate machine until he had nothing left but his boxers. Finally snapping, Song and cursed out the game he was working on. This thing is a hot pile of garbage, a so-called game riddled with nothing but bugs. But little did he know, the system heard him, and it dragged that very game into the real world. When Song woke up, he clutched his splitting headache, wondering what that sound he just heard was. Welcome to the new world. Why was a voice like that echoing inside his head? As the pain faded, Song slowly got up and looked out the window. The scene before him made his jaw hit the floor. In the middle of the bustling city, a gigantic forest had sprouted from nowhere, destroying countless buildings around it. Song-An's eyes widened in horror, a cold sweat breaking out. The company. No. The entire city was warped. What in the world was going on? Just then, a notification popped up. Player Song-An has successfully registered. Welcome to the new world. Seeing the familiar interface, Song-An screamed in terror. A new world player? Isn't this the system interface from the game? Could it be? Am I actually in the game? Song-An stared at the notification, his mind racing. Does New World have a 3D sensory mode? How did I not know about this? Am I some kind of test subject for the company? But could a 3D mode ever feel this real? Why does this still feel like reality? Suddenly, the notification changed. The system is randomly selecting an identity for you. Song desperately lunged forward, trying to stop the system's choice, but he just phased right through the interface, completely powerless. The system then announced, "Congratulations, you have received the merchant identity, equipped with an old stone knife." Out of nowhere, a stone knife appeared in Song-An's hand. According to the display, the weapon added 10 attack points. Looked like typical starter gear. Song-An was still reeling. He stared at the knife in his hand and mumbled to himself. Okay, calm down. I was just randomly assigned a class, and now I'm a merchant. In New World, classes were divided into merchant, priest, and combat. The combat branch was incredibly powerful, with great stat bonuses that made it useful in any era. Priests could provide support and buffs for the team. Merchants, on the other hand, excelled at gathering resources and could craft equipment. The glaring weakness, of course, was their pathetic combat ability. To balance the class population and prevent any one class from being too rare, the system would randomly assign them. Not to mention, New World also had some rare hidden classes that had to be unlocked through special methods. This was everything. Song-An, the programmer, remembered from half a year of fixing bugs. After calming down, he carefully observed his surroundings. The flickering monitor, the messy office. This place looked exactly like the real world. All of a sudden, a quest notification appeared. If not accepted within 5 minutes, the quest will begin automatically. Only then did Song dare to believe the truth. The world had changed. The game had truly become reality. Wait a second. If this is New World, does that mean the hidden Easter eggs I coded are still active? If so, couldn't I use them to become the top player in this world? Could I finally escape those scumbag corporate overlords? In that instant, something inside Song completely shifted. He was no longer the downtrodden guy with his head down. A confident grin spread across his face. This is absolutely perfect. I'm going to use those bugs to change my entire life. Meanwhile, the clock was still ticking down. For this first quest, Song only had 5 minutes to think. He stared at the notification, recalling the settings he had created. Back during development, he programmed a hidden rule. If you could reset your class before the first quest started, you had a chance to obtain a hidden class. That was what he wanted. That was the theory, anyway. But looking at the knife in his hand, Song hesitated. The idea of having to off myself, it was a little hard to go through with. What if I'm wrong? What if I die for real? He squeezed his eyes shut, trying to convince himself. Screw it. It's a gamble. If I can get a hidden class, I'll have an absolute advantage in the future. Just please, don't let me actually die. Gritting his teeth, Song plunged the knife right into his own stomach. An error message popped up. System error, player status cannot be verified. Generating new character and identity. Character Song created successfully. Time remaining, 4 minutes and 43 seconds. After being revived, Song let out a sigh of relief. Ha, I'm actually alive. And the wound is gone. This means I can really exploit the bugs in this world. But when he saw his new class was priest, he sighed in disappointment. Looks like I died for nothing. Without a second thought, Song tried again. He repeated this process 30 times, but never once got the hidden class. Seeing the time about to run out, Song was crushed with disappointment. Am I doomed to be an unlucky loser even here? Once the time is up, there are no more chances. Glancing at the glass window beside him, Song decided to try one last time. He backed up, took a running start, and launched himself straight through the glass pane. With only 2 seconds left, just before hitting the ground, Song poured all his desperation into a single shout. Let this work. In the final second, he successfully recreated his character for the 31st and final time. A stream of error messages flashed as Song An's body was reconstructed once again. Character Song An created successfully. Random class has been assigned. Countdown complete. New quest received. Survive. Achievement unlocked. Iron Rookie. Congratulations. You have received the Combat class and the Golden Merchant class. As soon as he regained consciousness, Song An saw the notification and broke into a satisfied smile. I actually hit the jackpot. This was the most difficult class to obtain in the new world. Once he was stable, Song An sat down to check out his new haul. Song An, Level 1. Combat class, exclusive skill, robust. Passive, all stats increased by 100%. Golden Merchant exclusive skills. Business opportunity. Resource acquisition speed increased by 100%. Creation. Can craft equipment and props. Success rate greatly increased. Achievement. Iron Rookie. A hidden achievement. Experience gain increased by 10%. With the Combat and Merchant classes, he also got an extra experience point bonus. Song An felt like Lady Luck had finally smiled on him, but he immediately started complaining again. But now, there's a problem. My glasses are broken. I think they shattered when I fell. Why couldn't the bug have fixed my bad eyesight? Where am I supposed to find new glasses now? I guess I'll have to make do. Just then, a warning flashed. Quest monster has spawned. Danger ahead. Please be aware of your surroundings. Seeing this, Song An let out a smug chuckle. A starter quest. What's there to be afraid of? With my current abilities, isn't it just a walking bag of experience points? The moment the words left his mouth, a gargantuan monster appeared out of nowhere. Along with it came a critical danger warning from the system. With just a single stomp of its foot, Song An was scared stiff. Okay, I take it back. I'll never be cocky again. The monster's eyes glowed as it suddenly spewed a cloud of poison from its mouth. Seeing the monster's level was unreadable, Song An immediately turned tail and ran. Are you freaking kidding me? How am I supposed to fight something like that? I have to get out of here. Fast. Song An's first quest was to survive for 1 hour. If he was killed by a monster, it would be a true death, with no more chances to start over. Song An blindly ran into his company's building, with 3 smaller monsters hot on his heels. Luckily, the giant monster couldn't fit inside the building, or it would have been game over for real. It seemed some kind of restriction was keeping it out. But Song An's immediate problem was the pack of mini-demons chasing him. Each mini-demon was level 15, a world of difference compared to him. Even with the buff from his combat class, a level 1 newbie like Song An stood no chance. He had to use all his strength just to barely dodge their barrage of powerful attacks. What he needed right now was to get a weapon, and fast. While Song An was gasping for breath, the mini-demons actually flipped him the bird, taunting him. Feeling utterly disrespected, Song An's blood boiled, and he prepared to charge in for a desperate fight. Just then, a familiar shout echoed from a distance. Just as Song An suspected, it was none other than the voice of his scumbag bald boss. He and another person were being chased by mini-demons, running for their lives. Seeing Song An ahead, the boss somehow still had the time to mock him. Useless, Song An. You haven't been eaten yet? You've got some tough luck. Song An gritted his teeth in fury. He was busy getting his butt handed to him by monsters, and these clowns had the nerve to talk trash. But that moment of distraction was all it took. 3 lesser demons saw their opening and lunged right for him. And just like that, the 3 of them were running for their lives together. An unplanned team-up against the monster horde. In this crisis, Song An was the designated scapegoat. Song An, this is all your fault. You led those things right to us. I must have been cursed for 8 generations to run into you. Song An, you better think of something, or we're all gonna be monster chow. Done with their crap, Song An finally snapped. Can't you see I'm trying, you moron? Song An scanned his surroundings, desperately trying to remember every bug he'd ever patched. If his memory served him right, there should be a safe room around here somewhere. After a quick scan of the area, nothing seemed to stand out. Finally, his gaze locked onto the wall straight ahead of them as he yelled, "It's that wall up front." The other 2 heard him and started freaking out. What? Are you freaking kidding me? That's a wall. Are you stupid? Song An had no time to explain, screaming back at them, "If you don't want to die, trust me," and charged through it. Though they were doubtful, they had no other choice. They just shut their eyes and ran for it. Luckily, Song An's hunch was right on the money. It was a real safe room, and they had successfully escaped the pack of lesser demons chasing them. From the outside, the lesser demons just saw their prey vanish into thin air, looking at each other in total confusion. The guy in the red shirt wondered out loud. It's like, they can't see us in here. Song An quickly explained. This is an in-game safe room. Monsters can't see or attack this spot. He was just glad he had created a safe zone at the starting point. A safe room is a standard feature in games, used for players to adjust their status or to protect newbies. It's a secure area monsters can't enter. As he watched the creatures, Song An suddenly heard a voice call out from behind him. Just as he turned around, a girl threw her arms around him in a sudden hug. Song-an, it really is you. I was so worried about you. There are so many monsters out there. This girl's name was Liu Zaihui, and she was extremely close with Song-an. A huge smile spread across Song-an's face when he saw her, asking how she found this place. The sight of them being so close made the guy in red burn with jealousy. He wished he could be in Song-an's place. Liu Zaihui didn't even bother looking at the other two, explaining to Song-an why she was there. Have you forgotten? Back when you were designing the safe room, you asked for my opinion. So I guess that makes me a co-designer too. Liu Zaihui was Song-an's college friend who worked in the art department at the same company, in charge of monster design. She was also his one and only friend at the company. When the world first turned upside down, Liu Zaihui led a bunch of their colleagues and other people to hide inside this very safe room while the monster count was still low. But because of the sudden change in the world, everyone was starting to lose hope. Looking at the people in the room, Song-an guessed this world wasn't exactly the game they had made. The tense atmosphere was suddenly broken by their bald-headed boss. Losing hope? Isn't this whole mess your fault? Instead of moping around, you should hurry up and find a way to shut down this garbage game. I told all of you to do a good job. And what did you do? Look at the situation we're in now. My company, my money. Even in a crisis like this, all he could think about was money. He was truly a greedy madman. The other employees, blamed for no reason, quickly tried to explain. But this isn't what we made. There's nothing we can do. You have to be a little reasonable, sir. Their bald boss just flew into a rage, yelling and pointing his finger all over the place. A bunch of useless hacks. You're all fired. Song-an couldn't be bothered arguing with this guy and focus on getting information from Liu Zaihui. Liu Zaihui, when you got here, did anything special happen or did you meet anyone, like, anyone who seemed out of the ordinary? While Liu Zaihui was trying to remember, the guy in red immediately realized what Song-an was looking for. You mean an NPC. This game has a ton of NPCs, and they hold lots of info about clearing stages or have important items. If we can just find them, our chances of survival might go up. The information was critical, but nobody here seemed to know anything. The crowd was in an uproar, asking each other and trying to remember the name of the NPC from the first stage. All the guy in red could remember was that his name was Lee something gay. Just then, a little girl standing nearby spoke up. Her name is Kyuj. How can you grown-ups have such bad memories? Seeing the arrow above the little girl's head, the guy in red shouted excitedly. Yes, yes. The arrow over her head means it's her. Kyuj, we just need to raise her affection with us to get a reward. But before he could finish, Chuge yelled right in his face. Don't you dare try your tricks on me, you stupid oaf. Seeing that she was the type of person he was worst at dealing with, Song-an could only force a bitter smile. But Liu Zaihui was different. She walked over to the little girl, knelt down, and started talking. I can't believe you're an NPC. Chuge. A second ago, I was worried you were some lost kid. I'm just glad you're okay. Seeing her, Chuge smiled brightly. Thank you for bringing me to the safe room, big sister. Because of you, Chuge wasn't in any danger. I'm really grateful, so I want to give you a present. The little girl opened her backpack and took out an item shaped like a compass. The item flew toward Liu Zaihui and turned into a stream of light, entering her body and activating the role Liu Zaihui mini-map function. Seeing this, the guy in red's jaw dropped. Look. I told you NPCs have items, and it's a map. Even Song-an was shocked. Chuge actually had the map, which was an incredibly helpful function. If they wanted to clear dungeons later on, this function was a must-have. I have to find a way to get it, he thought. Seeing a rare opportunity, a woman walked up and tried to sweet-talk Kyuj. Hey there, little sister. I'll give you some candy, okay? Can you give me the map? She thought kids were the easiest to trick, that a few pieces of candy would be enough to get what she wanted. But Shuji saw right through her fake smile and called her out without holding back. You phony witch. A minute ago you were running faster than a dog, and now you're acting all sweet. Chuji hates two-faced fakes like you the most. You're so fake. The woman clutched the candy in her hand, her body trembling with rage. Luckily, the people around her held her back. Otherwise, she would have lunged forward and resorted to violence. At this point, everyone wanted to get an item from QJ, and they all wanted to get on her good side. But her affection meter for them had already hit rock bottom. When you were all running away, you all ignored Chuge. And now you want to get the map from me. Never. The little girl turned her back, refusing to talk to anyone. At this rate, gaining her favor was pretty much impossible. Just then, their bald boss spoke up. A bunch of idiots trying to reason with a 5 or 6-year-old. Just take it from her. Why the heck are you wasting your breath? He stormed over to Chuge, roaring at the top of his lungs. I don't care if you like me or not. I'm taking this map no matter what. Chuge was so scared she slowly backed away. Stay away from me. Baldy, The bald boss lunged without warning, yanking on the little girl's backpack. Hand over the map, he snarled. Let go. I know you got better loot in that bag. Give it all to me. Just then, Song and shot forward, slamming a fist right into the man's jaw. Back off. Chuj was shoved aside, but luckily, Tai Hu was there to catch her. Song and roared in fury. She's just a kid. How dare you use force on her? Still trying to act like a bully here? This isn't the old world anymore. Getting hit by his own subordinate, the bald boss spat out a mouthful of blood and issued a warning. Song An, you bastard, you dare to hit me. What I do is none of your business. She's just a fictional game character. Who cares about her feelings? That's ridiculous. I just need the map to get out of this hellhole and go back to the old world. At this point, Xiu Jie was so scared she burst into tears. Her affection meter dropped to -1, and suddenly, a notification popped up. NPC's affection has fallen below 0. Activating Easter egg. Don't think an NPC is easy to bully. If you bully my people, you'll have to pay the price. Punishment, safe room disabled. No matter how Liu Zaihui tried to comfort her, Chu Jie wouldn't stop crying. Wah, you bullied Chu Jie. I'm gonna tell my big brother. The safe room started disappearing bit by bit with a 30-second countdown. Seeing this, everyone looked around in a panic, not knowing what to do. The bald boss turned to Song An to confront him. You bastard, Song An. Did you make this in the first place? Song An looked up at the swarming monsters, breaking out in a cold sweat. Song An, you idiot. Why did you create such a deadly Easter egg in the first place? According to Song An's design, whenever an NPC's affinity dropped into the negative, every player nearby would be punished. This time, the safe room would vanish in 27 seconds, but Song An's survival mission timer still had 42 minutes and 14 seconds left. As time ticked away, everyone watched in horror as the horde of monsters prepared to storm in. Song An gritted his teeth, his heart filled with bitter rage. He had tried so damn hard, dying countless times just to get this perfect start. He refused to let it end like this. The safe room was about to disappear, and if that happened, everyone here was dead. Should I try to lure these monsters away? If I can just get outside, I can move on my own. There's something I need in this building, and with it, these demons will be a piece of cake. But the biggest problem right now is getting past these 5 demons. Can I even do it? Just then, the bald boss suddenly shoved him out of the safe room. Song An, get out there and buy us some time. This is all your fault anyway, so go and fix it. Before Song An could even react, he was thrown outside. Instantly, the demons lunged forward, ready to tear him to shreds. Inside the safe room, Liu Zaihui's voice rang out in protest. Why did you push him out? You just sent him to his death. But the bald boss saw nothing wrong with his actions, desperately trying to justify himself. If he doesn't go out there and die, we will. While he's got their attention, let's run. If you want to die with him so badly, then go ahead. Unable to take it anymore, Liu Zaihui screamed in fury. You're a murderer, you twisted monster. Just then, Song An's voice echoed from outside. Liu Zaihui, I'm okay. The safe room is about to disappear. When it does, don't worry about me, just run with the others. Thanks to the buff from his combat class, Song An was barely holding on, his body covered in wounds. As the countdown hit 0, he immediately roared, signaling for everyone to escape. This is it. Run. Remember to take Qage with you, she's important to us. I'll hold them off for as long as I can. Surrounded by 5 demons, Song An expertly dodged and weaved, pulling them away from the exit. Liu Zaihui tried to run and help, but the others held her back. Liu Zaihui, forget Song An. Time's up. We have to go now. Seizing the opportunity Song An created, everyone fled in the opposite direction. They all scrambled forward, not one of them sparing a glance for the man risking his life behind them. Only Kyuju looked back at his fading figure. Thank you, big brother. I hope Kyuju's little gift can help you. On Song An's side, a notification suddenly flashed. Kyuju's affinity for you has increased to 60. You have received Kyuju's map. In the middle of this deadly crisis, Song An actually broke into a wide grin. Ha ha, you got to be kidding me. I finally got the function I wanted all along. Compared to some people in the real world, the loyalty of an NPC is so much stronger. Maybe a world like this isn't so bad after all. Not wanting to waste a precious second, Song An immediately opened the map, searching for the Easter egg's location. According to the info, the spot he needed was right ahead and should be obvious. But in reality, Song An looked left and right and saw absolutely nothing. Just like that, he ran right past the marker on the map and had no choice but to turn back. But in that single moment of distraction, a demon's attack sent him flying into a wall. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the survivors who had just escaped the safe room were being hunted by another monster. Facing this new demon, not a single one of them had the strength to fight back. The body count just kept rising. The demon didn't kill them all at once, instead choosing to slowly savor the thrill of the hunt. After each kill, it would pause, staring down the survivors with a horrifying grin. Witnessing this scene, everyone was paralyzed with fear, desperately trying to find a way to escape. Using her map function, Liu Zhe-Hui found an active elevator up ahead and quickly signaled for everyone to run towards the hallway. Desperate to survive, they followed her directions without a single doubt. Even in such a dangerous situation, Liu Zhe-Hui couldn't stop worrying about Song An, silently praying for his safety. Back with Song An, after taking the full force of the demon's punch, he slammed hard against the wall. His health plummeted, leaving only 11 out of 120. The system's critical health warnings flashed repeatedly before his eyes. There were no more chances to respawn. Song An had to find a way out of this impossible situation. Song An slowly stood up, wiping the blood from his lips. That last hit was way too close. Another one of those and I would have been meeting my maker. But hey, thanks for the help. I almost missed this place completely. I finally remember now. The entrance is hidden inside the wall. Suddenly, the wall behind Song An cracked and shattered as a notification window appeared. Hidden office Easter egg activated. Song An reached his arm through the opening and slowly stepped inside, his eyes locked on the demons. I'll see you guys in a bit. And trust me, I hold a grudge. After passing through the doorway, a chaotic space appeared before him. In that void, there was only a single patch of white, and inside, a figure sat working at a desk. The dimensional travel left Song An feeling dizzy, needing a moment to adjust. When his vision cleared, he saw a skeleton in front of him, endlessly typing on a keyboard and repeating a single word, deadline. According to the system information, this was A-Kun, an NPC programmer who never slept. Seeing the Easter egg he himself created, Song An felt a strange sense of nostalgia. He slowly approached and spoke up. Hello. A-Kun finally noticed someone was there and seemed startled. Oh, hey buddy, I didn't see you. Are you here to help me with the deadline? It's been a while since anyone else came here. Unfortunately, I still have work to do, so I can't talk for long. Song An knew exactly what he had to do. He walked over to the desk and placed a hand on A-Kun's shoulder. A-Kun, don't worry. You can finally rest now. After saying that, he asked to borrow a pen from the desk. A-Kun's expression turned gloomy. It's useless. The boss said I can't leave until 12 o'clock, but I'll never make it to 12. I went from a handsome 18-year-old to a dried-up skeleton. Only now do I understand that overtime is the only place I belong. Working overtime gives my existence meaning. This is the dignity of a true worker. Don't try to change my mind. I can't leave work. While A-Kun was muttering, Song An quietly took down the clock on the wall and drew on it with a pen. Not necessarily. Look at this. It's already past 12. You can clock out now. As soon as he finished speaking, the clock in Song An's hands slowly faded away. A-Kun's jaw dropped in shock at first. Then he was so moved he began to cry. It's really 12 o'clock. I can leave. I can really, finally leave. After being set free, all of A-Kun's pent-up resentment exploded. He angrily flipped the desk he'd been chained to for so long, screaming, "Screw this damn job. Screw this damn overtime. Whoever locked me in this place, if it weren't for the fact I couldn't leave, who would happily work like this?" Witnessing this scene, Song An felt a little guilty. The one who locked him here. Wasn't that me? Luckily, he doesn't know I did it. Just then, a notification appeared. Quest complete. A-Kun wants to work overtime. With the notification, a circle of light appeared at A-Kun's feet, and he began to fade away. Before he was fully liberated, A-Kun smiled brightly and said his final words. So, it turns out that once the overtime ends, my mission is over too. As thanks, I'm leaving my place and my things to you. I hope they can help you out. Goodbye. Song An felt like he was looking at himself and smiled with satisfaction. Goodbye. I'll definitely put them to good use. If there's a next life, find yourself a better boss. Immediately after, the quest rewards were delivered. One extremely durable programmer's skeleton and one pair of invisible black glasses. After all that hard work, Song An finally had what he came for. Equipping the invisible black glasses, he received a 100% resistance to blindness, and his vision was now sharper than before. Plus, the item was completely invisible. Flawless aesthetics. Absolutely perfect. Next up was the main event. The extremely durable programmer's skeleton, a B-rank material. Forged through decades of sitting in a chair, it created a powerful skeleton with a hardness far beyond that of a normal person. With this item and his starter knife, Song An could use his golden merchant skill to craft a bone blade with a success rate of 99.9%. After a series of expert moves, a rare item was created. B-rank bone blade. Attack plus 75. Special effect, piercing strike, ignores 30% of the target's defense. The Demon Hunter blade. Deals 10 times the damage to demons. Looking at the item's stats, Song An was beyond satisfied. Without his golden merchant class, this would have been impossible. All right, let's do this. It's payback time. With his new weapon in hand, Anne was ready to face the demons that just wiped the floor with him. Outside, the monsters hadn't given up. They were waiting to pounce on anything that emerged from the hidden room. But as the demons swarmed their target, they froze. It was just a Kun's laptop. Just then, Song-an appeared from the shadows. Never turn your back on an enemy. Now die. He put all his strength into his sneak attack on the closest demon, but it barely even scratched it, only taking a sliver of its health. The failed attack only enraged the demons. They charged forward, a flurry of fists and claws. Song-an quickly dodged back, screaming at his new weapon. Aren't you supposed to have a 10 times damage multiplier? Why isn't it working? Don't you dare fail me now. My health bar is almost empty. As if hearing his plea, the blade began to glow, crackling with golden lightning. The bolt shot towards the wound he just inflicted on the demon and exploded. Plus 700 damage to the lesser demon. The demon was instantly blown to bits, leaving Song-an completely stunned. So it's a delayed damage effect. But man, is it powerful. For his first kill on a higher level monster, Song-an received a massive EXP boost, level 2. With the level up, his health was fully restored. His wounds vanished without a trace. Seeing their comrade annihilated, the remaining demons roared in fury, turning their rage on him. Song-an's expression was cold as he taunted them. Come on then. If you're done hesitating, let's finish this. The demons were just low-intelligence monsters. After all they knew was how to charge blindly. But Song-an was smarter than that. Why would he fight them head-on? He perfectly timed his retreat back into the hidden room. He successfully nullified their attack, and just like before, the enraged demons were helpless. Instinct forced them to stand guard, unable to enter. Gripping his blade, Song-an suddenly dashed out, slashing at the nearest demon's thigh. If you can't even touch me, then I guess I'll have to take you out. The demon was annihilated in a single hit, but unfortunately, he'd only managed to strike one of them. To play it safe, he decided to retreat again and wait for his next chance. But as he turned to leave, a demon's claws shot out, pinning him in place. In a desperate move, Song-an blocked with his blade, struggling against the crushing force. So, you're not going to let me leave? Huh. You're strong, but you're wounded too. You can't hold on forever. Just then, the last demon charged from behind. Trapped like this, Song-an was a dead man. If he wanted to live, he had to fight. He summoned every ounce of his strength, breaking free from the demon's grasp. At the same time, he activated the Bone Blade's special effect, sending the monster to its grave. And what do you know? The EXP was just enough to level him up again, boosting his stats. Knowing he couldn't escape, Song-an charged recklessly at the final demon. But the level difference was still too great. He was sent flying with a single punch. Luckily, he managed to lodge his blade in the demon's arm. The lightning effect turned it to ash in an instant. The flood of XP leveled him up once more, instantly healing his new wounds. After that life-or-death battle, Song-an couldn't help but grin. He never knew he had this in him. He wasn't just some random office drone anymore. His journey to the top was just beginning. Meanwhile, Liu Zaihui's group had found an elevator and scrambled inside. Unsure where to go, the bald boss frantically slammed the button for the first floor. All he cared about was getting out of the building, with no regard for what waited outside. Liu Zaihui, however, was still staring at her map. It was showing that the number of monsters had gone down. Maybe Song-an managed to lose them. We should wait for him a little longer. But the others immediately shot her down. Are you crazy? Why are you still thinking about him at a time like this? He's probably dead. You want us to die with him? Liu Zaihui couldn't accept it. They'd already abandoned Song-an once. She refused to do it again. Just then, a demon caught up to them, its sharp claws swiping for its prey. The elevator doors slammed shut just in the nick of time, saving them by a hair's breadth. The demon tore the doors apart, but found no one inside, letting out a furious roar. Suddenly, it heard a voice from behind. But before it could even turn, Song-an landed a nasty gash across its back. Who gave you permission to lay a hand on my friends? Now, Song-an had the confidence to face these demons head-on. But sadly, he was one step too late to join his friends. After the demon fell, a system window appeared. All monsters on this floor have been exterminated. The floor is now secure. Seeing the message, Song-an slung his blade over his shoulder, a look of disappointment on his face. That was all of them? And here I was hoping to level up a few more times. Still, his stats had jumped quite a bit after leveling up. Song-an opened his status window, carefully examining each number. After clearing this floor, he reached level 5. Every level up granted 1 point to all stats, plus 3 free attribute points to allocate. When you factored in the bonus from his combat class, he was gaining 16 stat points per level. Classes really are everything in this game. I remember the average stat for a normal person was 10, though it varied a bit from person to person. If I subtract my level up bonuses, my starting intelligence and perception were 10, but my stamina was 6, and my agility and strength were only 4. I was pathetically weak. Without a second thought, Song An dumped his points into strength, agility, and stamina. As he confirmed, he muttered, "No one's calling me a weakling anymore. I just never had time to work out, that's all." After allocating the points, he was finally on par with a normal person, maybe even a little stronger. Just then, the entire building began to shake violently. Chunks of the walls rained down from above. Song An dodged the falling debris, trying to figure out what was going on. What's going on? Why is the building shaking like this? The system just said this floor was secure. Is it a new monster? A demon lord? Oh no, Liu Zaihui is in danger. Outside, the survivors were being attacked by a demon lord. Facing the colossal monster, they were paralyzed with terror. Why? How? We thought we'd be safe if we just got outside. Why is there an even more terrifying monster out here? A dire warning message flashed repeatedly, feeding their panic. Their only hope of survival was Liu Zaihui finding an escape route on her map. But no matter how hard she looked, she couldn't find a way out. Every single path was blocked. Seeing this, the bald boss lost his mind and made a run for it alone. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. He only made it a few steps before being incinerated by demonic flames. Witnessing this, the group fell into utter despair. Screaming, they scattered in every direction, trying to get as far away as possible. But as luck would have it, the demon lord targeted Liu Zaihui's group. While trying to escape, Liu Zaihui tripped and fell hard to the ground. Knowing she couldn't go on, she begged her companion, I think I twisted my ankle. I can't run anymore. Please, can you get through to safety? I think she's passed out." The young man in the red shirt hesitated, but when he saw the demon lord preparing to attack, he abandoned them, turning to save his own skin. "I'm sorry, Liu Zaihui." Unable to move, Liu Zaihui could only shield through with her own body, praying for a miracle. "Please, somebody, save us." Just then, a familiar figure appeared out of nowhere, standing between them and the massive fireball. It was none other than our main character, Song An. Thanks to the demon hunter effect of his blade, the fireball's damage was completely nullified. Seeing that Song An was alive, Liu Zaihui's eyes filled with tears. "Thank God, you're really alive." Song An stared down the demon lord, a smirk on his face. "Sorry I'm late," he announced. "Getting downstairs took a minute. You can leave the rest to me. Whoever dared to hurt you is going to regret it." But before the fight, Song An had to check on Liu Zaihui. She tried to get up but couldn't even stand. "It's just a sprain," she said, "but I definitely can't run." Seeing she was okay otherwise, Song An felt a wave of relief. Liu Zaihui's attention shifted to Qiuej, worried about why she'd suddenly passed out. Song An reassured her, "It's probably temporary. I'm guessing the shock just got to her. Liu Zaihui, you take good care of her. Leave the rest to me." Just as Liu Zaihui was about to protest, he cut her off. "Don't worry, I'm not being reckless. I've got a plan." Suddenly, Song An shouted, "Sun Yue, I know you're around here somewhere. Even if you're hiding in a tree, you can't dodge this monster's fireballs forever. I've got an Easter egg that can get us out of this alive, but I need your help." Right on cue, the monster launched a massive fireball at Song An. While blocking the blast, he kept trying to persuade Sun Yue, "You better decide fast. I'm not sure I can block the next one. Liu Zaihui can't move right now. You're the only one who can help her." After a moment of internal struggle, Sun Yue finally showed himself. "Fine, what do you need me to do?" Seeing him, Song An yelled out, "Find a branch and draw a big circle on the ground at Liu Zaihui's feet. Make it huge." Sun Yue stared back in disbelief. "What? Draw a circle with a branch? Are you kidding me right now?" Song An poured all his strength into deflecting the fireball and urged Sun Yue to just do as he said. Though skeptical, Sun Yue grabbed a branch and started drawing. "I'll trust you this one time," he grumbled. "But just so you know, I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for Liu Zaihui." As soon as the circle was complete, a system notification popped up. "Condition met. Circle drawn with a branch. Player with the surname Sun has activated Old Sun's Monster Repellent Circle Easter Egg. Effect: protects everyone inside the circle from all forms of damage. Duration: 10 minutes. Can only be activated once per day." Before Sun Yue could figure out what was happening, he transformed into a monkey, looking totally ridiculous. "What the heck? Why am I a monkey?" Song An, is your Easter egg totally insane? While Old Sun's Monster Repellent Circle is active, the activator will transform into Sun Wukong, gaining a 10-minute taunt effect. The toy monkey on Sun Yue's head suddenly blared a loud horn, successfully drawing the demon lord's aggro. Luckily, Song Mayang yanked him back just in time, or he would have been turned into a roasted monkey. Sun Yue was frozen in fear. "Song An," he stammered, "were you planning to get me killed from the very beginning?" Song An quickly explained, "No way. I just needed you to taunt the monster for me. In a bit, you'll be in charge of kiting it, and I'll use that chance to take it down for good." Hearing this, Sun Yue exploded. "What? You want to go after that thing? No way. I'm not doing it." Song and calmly reasoned with him. "The repellent circle is going to run out eventually. If we don't deal with it, we're all dead anyway. So you have to help me if we want any chance of winning. Besides, even if you do nothing, that thing is going to attack you no matter what." Terrified, Sun Yu tried to make an excuse. "But if I charge in, that's just suicide. There's no way I can dodge its attacks." Just then, Liu Zaihui chimed in. "Sun Yu, listen to me. The Demon Lord's attacks aren't impossible to dodge. Right before it attacks, its mouth will open. The second you see that, just dash in a different direction, and the fireball won't hit you." Hearing Liu Zaihui's sweet voice, Sun Yue hesitated. She was worried about him, even after he'd abandoned her. But still, this was going to be tough. Just as the tension peaked, the monkey on his head blew its horn again, startling Sun Yu. Song immediately got into a battle stance. "Sun Yu, get ready. The monster's changing." Because of the taunt effect, the Demon Lord entered a rage state, spewing a huge wave of fire that spread everywhere. Thanks to the circle, Liu Zaihui didn't take a single point of damage, but Sun Yue was getting torched, his health dropping like a rock. "Hot, hot, hot. Liu Zaihui, I'm gonna die." She quickly calmed him down. "Don't worry, this is its area of effect skill. The range is wide, but the damage isn't fatal." Meanwhile, Song An ignored the flames and pushed forward. Charging straight in was risky, but if he missed this opening, he wouldn't get another one. This was his only chance to get close. He snuck up from behind and poured all his strength into a slash at the monster's leg. The cut felt a little shallow, so he followed up with a few more strikes. But that was enough to get the monster's attention. At that exact moment, the monkey on Sun Yue's head started spouting insults, successfully shifting the Demon Lord's focus back to him. This saved Song An's skin, earning a grateful thumbs up. After a short wait, the Demon Hunter effect finally activated. A massive burst of damage exploded, severing one of the Demon Lord's legs and sending it crashing to the ground. The attack was effective, but it wasn't enough to finish the beast off. After that hit, the aggro snapped back to Song An, making him break out in a cold sweat. "Hey big guy, my bad. I was just trying to be a nobody over here." At this distance, one hit would be instant death. He turned and yelled at Sun Yue, telling him to draw the monster's attention. But Sun Yue was too busy running and laughing his head off. "Serves you right. Now it's your turn to get hit. This thing's been on my case the whole time." But his laughter didn't last long, as the monster's aggro switched right back to him. After dodging a few more times, Sun Yue was actually getting the hang of it. "Good thing Liu Zaihui taught me how to dodge those fireballs," he thought. "Ha! I never knew I could be this awesome. Go ahead, throw a few more if you've got the guts." The words had barely left his mouth when the monkey on his head let out a deafening screech, pushing the Demon Lord's rage to its absolute peak. Feeling like his end was near, Sun Yue started trembling. "Song An, are you done yet? I'm really gonna die this time." Meanwhile, Song An was relentlessly hacking away at the monster's leg. "This thing has way more health than I thought. Just hang on a little longer." Sun Yue screamed in terror as he dodged. "Then hurry up. The fireballs are getting faster, and there's more of them. I can't hold on much longer." Seeing the situation was dire, Song An unleashed the hidden power of his single and ready-to-mingle right arm, delivering a furious storm of slashes. In the end, his effort paid off. The monster, completely distracted by the taunt, didn't even notice its health plummeting until it collapsed, dead on the spot. Since it was a boss, the experience reward was insane. Both Song An and Sun Yue leveled up several times, all their fatigue vanishing in an instant. At that moment, the Easter eggs effect finally wore off, and Sun Yue turned back to normal. He never wanted to experience that bizarre transformation ever again. Song An stood to the side, chin in hand, thinking, "Okay, the monster's dead, the Easter egg is used up. Liu Zaihui should be safe now. But why does it feel like something's missing?" After all that hard work, just getting some experience felt a little underwhelming. After all, the Demon Lord was a boss. It had to drop some kind of loot, right? And just as he thought that, an orange glow appeared over the monster's corpse. One look was all it took to know it was something good. A final notification appeared. Survival mission completed with 6 minutes and 31 seconds remaining. The next area has been unlocked. The dark barrier covering the city's sky began to slowly fade away. Everyone could finally go outside. Seeing this, Song An told them to hold on and assess the situation first. Just then, a clear voice echoed from the sky above. "Oh my! I can't believe the Demon Lord was actually defeated. And it was a level 40 boss, too. How did you all manage that?" "Meow hello everyone, I'm your guide GM, Raphael. It's a pleasure to meet you." Out of nowhere, a girl who looked like a cross between a human and a cat appeared, with pure white angel wings on her back. She introduced herself as a GM, the game master of the new world. Raphael floated in the air as she spoke to Song An's group. Congratulations on completing the mission before the time limit. Raphael is here to congratulate you all. Meow. You're the very first group of players to clear this stage. With that one sentence, Song An's suspicion was confirmed. Besides their group, there were other players out there. Raphael chimed in, but the others aren't as skilled as you all. They're still getting chased around by monsters. No, wait. Maybe you guys are just on a whole other level. How could a bunch of newbies possibly be a level 40 boss? Unless you guys use some kind of cheat. To avoid getting banned, Song An quickly pointed to the bone sword and explained, no way. We just got lucky and found some seriously good gear. Raphael was still suspicious, leaning in close. Are you absolutely sure? Song An stammered that it was the truth, the whole truth. But Raphael clearly wasn't buying it. I don't know. It just doesn't feel that simple. Song An insisted it was just luck, but deep down he was panicking that his Easter egg secret would be exposed. Just then, the voices of the players who'd run away earlier echoed from a distance. We can get out. We can finally get out. We can see the sun again. Sun Yue saw them and rushed over to ask, Xiao Mei, where did you guys even run off to? Xiao Mei crossed her arms, annoyed. Don't even ask. We were lost in that forest for ages. We went in and immediately hit some kind of invisible barrier. We were completely trapped. Then we got a notification saying it was safe here, so we came to check. I can't believe you guys are still alive. After her story, she pointed to the sky, asking what was going on. After a quick introduction, Raphael beamed. Now that everyone's here, it's time for your rewards. A notification window instantly popped up, and each person received 1,000 star coins. Holding the pouch of money, Song An wondered if this was the currency for the new world. Raphael explained everything in detail. That's right, star coins are the one and only currency in the new world. They're extremely useful. Whether you're trading or leveling up, you'll need star coins. The more you have, the better. Even a merchant with 0 combat power can become incredibly strong, all thanks to star coins. Meow. Hearing that, Song An got serious. So, money is power here? Now that I have the golden merchant class, I have to use it to its full potential. The other players, hearing the explanation, started asking questions. Raphael, what are we supposed to do now? Yeah, where do we even go? Raphael told them to chill out and just wait a moment. Sun Yue was confused, but then a flood of notifications appeared on his screen. It turned out the survival quest timer had ended for everyone across the entire new world. With that, all the zones were officially unlocked. The storyline update read, through your sheer will to survive, you held out until reinforcements from the royal capital arrived to repel the demon invasion. Though your homes were destroyed, you were lucky to be alive. A main quest popped up, the Call of Destiny. Though the demons have been pushed back, the disaster has caused other monsters to rise up. Please find the designated NPC commander in your zone to receive a subjugation quest. The recommended level was 1 to 10. While everyone else was confused, Song An immediately figured it out. The subjugation quest was just to kill a bunch of small fry monsters. Hearing this, Raphael cheered. That's right, meow. What you need to do next is simple. Complete quests and level up. When asked how to find the quest giver, Raphael gave clear instructions. Don't worry, the quest itself will guide you. You might even run into other players along the way. Song An looked at the quest info, carefully planning his next move. Level 1 to 10, huh. Looks like the main quest rewards aren't that great. Maybe I should just focus on leveling up first. There's nothing for me here anyway. Oh, wait, there is one more thing. Remembering, he walked over and asked the group, Hey, is anyone here a healer class? Everyone thought Song An was trying to form a party to grind monsters and asked him why. Song An explained, No, it's not that. Liu Zaihui twisted her ankle earlier, and she can't walk well. I'm a warrior class, so I can't help her. Is anyone here a healer? He decided to keep his golden merchant class a secret to avoid any unnecessary trouble. Noticing the attention, Liu Zaihui came closer, insisting she was fine. But even as she said it, she could barely stand on her own 2 feet. Song An urged her not to push herself, telling her it would only make it worse. But unfortunately, everyone else was either a warrior or a merchant. No one could help. Sun Yue, feeling useless because he couldn't help Liu Zaihui, sulked in a corner, wishing he was a healer class. Song An was a little disappointed. Seriously, with all these people, there's not a single healer? Just then, Lu Renjia spoke up. Song An. I can give it a try. Because he was so introverted, no one had paid him any attention. It was a total shock that he was the only healer. Lu Renjia walked over and used his unique healer class skill on Liu Zaihui's leg. The wound slowly began to close. It cost 3 MP every 10 seconds. After a moment, Liu Zaihui already felt much better. Hey, it really doesn't hurt anymore. Thank you so much, Lu Renjia. At that moment, everyone started thinking about inviting Lu Renjia to their party so they could tackle quests together. Everyone was getting hyped for the journey ahead. Meanwhile, the healing was complete. Liu Zaihui could now walk perfectly fine. Seizing the opportunity, she made another request. Lu Renjia, could I trouble you just one more time? Chu Jie is looking worse and worse. I think she might be hurt, too. Can you please heal her for me? Lu Renjia thought it was no problem and began to cast his spell, but he was instantly thrown back. A red warning flashed. Healing invalid. System prohibits healing this NPC. The skill was interrupted, and Chuge's body began to react strangely. Sensing trouble, Song An yelled out to Raphael. What's going on? But even Raphael, the system spirit, had no idea what was happening. Healing an NPC should be allowed. Why would the system suddenly issue a warning like that? Does this NPC have some kind of secret? Meow. Suddenly, Raphael heard someone call its name. It instantly recognized the voice of its master and began to panic. Master, what are your orders? Meow. From Song An's perspective, it just looked like Raphael was talking to thin air, and he wondered who it was speaking to. The voice commanded Raphael to return the NPC, Chuge, immediately, and to not make a scene. Just then, Chuge coughed up blood, her life force rapidly fading. Liu Zaihui watched in horror, completely helpless. Raphael quickly rushed forward and made up an excuse. This NPC is special. Her data just became unstable because of his system fluctuation. It's best not to mess with her, or you'll just speed up her death. Hearing this, Liu Zaihui got even more frantic, desperately trying to find a way to help. Raphael finally shouted, I have to take her away. We have a way to treat her, but we can't delay. I'm taking her now. Raphael held out its hand, creating a transfer command that enveloped Chuige in a bubble and teleported her away. Well then, I'll be taking my leave. Meow. If you run into any problems later, you can always find me. Just look me up in your friends list. Just as it was about to leave, Song An stopped it. Wait, Raphael. I have one more question. Do you know who turned our world into this? Just how much do you really know about the system? Raphael's reply was blunt. Sorry, that question is outside your permitted scope. Meow. You can only ask about game content. All of you should get strong, fast, so you don't die later. Good luck. Meow. With that, Raphael quickly vanished through a portal in midair. Song An stared after it, feeling frustrated. Damn it, that thing definitely knows something. At that moment, Sun Yue was bummed that he hadn't gotten any gear from the monster fight. The others were getting ready to start the main quest and figure out how to survive in this new world. Liu Zaihui walked over to Song An and asked, What are your plans? Do you want to party up with us for the quest? Song An hesitated for a moment, thinking it over. The path he needed to take was far too dangerous. He couldn't guarantee anyone's safety. It was better to go alone. The main quest experience was too low. The rewards weren't worth it. He needed to head to more dangerous areas to see what he could find. He told Liu Zaihui he wouldn't be doing the quest, that he had other important things to handle. Liu Zaihui was about to try and convince him, but he cut her off. But don't worry, I still have something for you. It should be able to protect you in a real crisis. As he spoke, he opened his item window, pulling something out. Seeing the orange glow radiate from it, Liu Zaihui's jaw dropped. Orange, could that be? An A-grade item, Eye of the Demon, an A-rank rarity necklace. It summons demonic power to create a mighty shield of fire. Its defense rating is 150 times the user's strength stat, but it consumes all MP and has a 2-hour cooldown. Its special effect allows it to transform into a weapon. After equipping the demon necklace, no other weapons can be used, and after it transforms, it grants the user a new set of attributes. A demonic contract that exchanges power for a certain price. Its effectiveness is determined by the conditions met. After reading the item's info, Liu Zaihui quickly refused. Song An, I can't take this. I barely did anything to help. Song An knew she would refuse, so he found the perfect excuse. What are you talking about? Just consider it a loan. Besides, if you have this to protect you, I can rest easy. After all, some people aren't exactly reliable. Take it. Tunnak, feeling the jab was aimed at him, stormed over fuming. Hey, what was that supposed to mean? I helped too, you know. Blushing, Taihu shyly accepted the equipment. Through this one gesture, she finally understood how Song An felt about her. Afterwards, Song An tossed his bag of star coins to Tunnak. Tunnak, the item is gone. This is for you. Take all the money from this mission. Seeing the money, Tunnak's anger vanished. Well, at least you have some conscience. It's not like I was going to fight you for the item you gave Liu Zaihui anyway. But before he could finish, Song An cut him off. One more thing. I hope you'll stop bothering Liu Zaihui from now on. Tun Anashe's blood boiled, but since he couldn't win in a fight, he didn't dare say a word. With everything settled, Song An turned to leave. Liu Zaihui, I'm heading out. Treat me to a meal next time we meet. Liu Zaihui simply watched his retreating back. She knew Song and had his own path to walk, and it was better not to get in his way. After walking for a bit, Song An got a notification that he'd left the compressed zone. He stood on the street, carefully observing his surroundings. The road was littered with the bodies of people killed by monsters. I originally thought this game world was beautiful, but looking at all these corpses, it's just so brutal. How in the world did things end up like this? If I heard correctly earlier, Raphael must have a master, but I have no idea who he is. Is he the one controlling this world? And what happened to our original world? Right now, I don't have a single clue. Lost in thought, Song arrived at his destination. Oh, I'm already here? I'll stop thinking for now. The only way to find answers is to get stronger. Underground City. Here I come. Monsters in the game New World are divided into two types. One type is the wild monsters that roam the fields. These monsters are weak, low level, and killing them is often a quest for new players to level up. They also respawn after a set amount of time. The other type are the monsters and bosses found inside the underground cities. Underground cities are scattered across various regions. The monsters inside drop better and rarer rewards. These dungeons also produce all sorts of ores and resources for crafting equipment. But with great reward comes great risk. The stronger the monsters, the more concentrated they are, which only increases the difficulty. That's the defining feature of an underground city. One wrong move, and you could lose your life in an instant. At that moment, Song An was rummaging through a clothing store in a shopping mall. At first, he thought the new clothes were just okay, but after seeing the price tags, they suddenly looked pretty good. It's true what they say. Materialism shapes your consciousness. After changing, he scanned the area. It looked like a brutal battle had taken place here. When disaster strikes, money becomes worthless, which makes things a lot easier for me. Song An strolled around, gathering every resource in sight, including gold, silver, and precious jewels. Even though he didn't have any star coins left, this haul would be more than enough. Fully prepared, Song An stared at the gate before him. Yen Tin Cave. Difficulty D. Recommended. Level 12. Recommended party size 5 to 10 people. Even though entering alone was far more dangerous, Song An confidently hit confirm. The moment he stepped into the underground city, he was awestruck by the magnificent scenery. The walls were covered in ore, much to his satisfaction. My future equipment depends on you. Just then, a mysterious shadow darted from a dark corner. Hearing the sound, Song An's quick reflexes allowed him to narrowly dodge the attack. The creature that just lunged at him was a level 11 Yen Tin Rat. Song An was a little surprised, cautiously observing the monster before him. If he wanted to mine the ore, he'd have to get past it first, but he had already prepared for this. Song An reached into his item bag and pulled out a gold bracelet. Hey, little Yen Tin, what do you think of this shiny bracelet in my hand? You like it? The Yen Tin Rat's eyes immediately began to glow, fixated on the piece of jewelry. This type of monster values treasure over its own life. It can't resist anything that shines. Having captured its attention, Song An tossed the bracelet into the air. Since you like it so much, you can have it. Mesmerized, the monster frantically chased after the treasure. Seizing the opportunity, Song An launched a surprise attack from behind, successfully taking the creature down. But since the only reward was experience points, Song An figured it wasn't worth provoking these monsters. If more of them show up, I'll just use gold to distract them. As long as there aren't too many. The moment he had that thought, a chill ran down his spine. Countless pairs of eyes were staring at him from the darkness. When Song An turned around, a whole swarm of Yen Tin Rats suddenly charged right at him. Panicked, Song An quickly pulled out the gold he collected earlier. He ran, scattering it on the ground to attract the rats' attention. Just like before, the monsters couldn't resist their instinct to hoard the shiny gold on the ground. Even so, Song An didn't stop running, yelling at the top of his lungs, "If you don't come out now, all the good stuff will be gone." The words had barely left his mouth when a giant monster burst from a cavern, rushing towards the golden jewelry. This was the boss of the underground city, a level 15 Yen Tin Rat King. Seeing it appear, Song An smirked. "So you finally showed yourself. Looks like I'll start with you." After snatching the golden bracelet, the Yen Tin Rat King glared menacingly at its smaller minions. Terrified, the Yen Tin Rats obediently handed over the jewelry they collected, not daring to complain. After claiming all the gold, the Yen Tin Rat King reveled in its treasure, completely ignoring Song and standing nearby. Just then, Song An pulled out a bag full of gold bars. Satisfied with just that, "I've still got more over here. Don't you want it?" Instantly, every monster's eyes locked onto him. Without hesitation, Song An tossed the gold high into the air, drawing their attention. Seizing the opening, he equipped the bone knife and confidently charged the boss. I took down a level 40 demon lord. A rat king like this should be a piece of cake, but the tiny amount of damage he dealt only served to draw the boss's aggro. It wasn't until he was sent flying that Song An realized the problem. Looks like I got a little too cocky. Why did I think this guy would be easy? This wasn't a demon, it was a beast. The bone knife couldn't harm it. Defeating this thing wouldn't be as simple as taking down the demon lord. Not only the boss, but all the smaller monsters had now gathered, surrounding Song and completely. There was no escape. Song An had no choice but to face the horde head-on, taking them down one by one. Damn it. If I waste all my energy on these small fries, I'll have nothing left for the Rat King. Damn it, why do they keep staring at me? After fighting for a while, Solomon could feel his stamina being drained away. At this rate, he was going to die from exhaustion. Desperately searching for a way out, he suddenly spotted a glimmer of hope above. I have to get up there. I can use the bone knife to dig into the wall. That should be enough to climb out. So much for the plan. He launched himself upwards in a single bound. Whoa, how did I even jump that high? Once he landed safely, it all started to sink in. Was this the power of the agility stat? I never thought one attribute could change my body this much. This is a total game changer. I'll worry about stats later. Right now, I have a much bigger problem. I can't take on this swarm of rats by myself. I have to go for the Rat King. If I don't find a way to attack it, this whole plan is toast. What do I do now? Besides the gold, what else can I use in here? Song, and scan through his inventory. Finally, he found something that might just work. Good thing he'd stopped by the shopping district to grab these. Just then, the Rat King let out a roar and leaped in front of him. With a plan forming in his mind, Song An was ready to face this boss. The boss coming straight to him just saved a ton of time. Seeing Song An, the beast didn't attack, but pointed its claw at him. Song An knew exactly what it wanted, pulling out a gold ingot. So, you can't stand to part with my gold, huh? If you want it that bad, this just got easy. Let's make a little bet. Gold. All the gold you could ever want. It's all right here. All you have to do is get past me and take it. And this entire horde is yours. Well, you got the guts. After his whole speech, Song An wasn't even sure if the boss understood him. But seeing it roar, he figured it got the message. In reality, it didn't understand a single word. All it could think about was the glittering gold. Seeing Song An standing between it and the treasure, its eyes filled with killing intent, it lunged forward, claws ready to tear him apart. Song An didn't even try to block. He quickly dodged to the side. I've changed my mind. You can have all of it. The Rat King's momentum carried it straight into the pile of gold, where it crashed headfirst. As it wondered what just happened, it suddenly noticed a sticky liquid covering the gold. At that exact moment, Song An lit his homemade firebomb. That's oil. And by the time you realized it, it was already too late. I poured it all over the gold from the start, betting you'd dive right in. Looks like my gamble paid off. Greed always comes with a price. I wonder what a roasted Rat King tastes like. With just a single spark, the Rat King was swallowed by a massive inferno, screaming in agony. A blaze that huge would either kill it or burn off a thick layer of its hide. In agony, the Rat King tried to roll its massive body out of the flames. Hearing it call for its minions, Song An charged in. He had to finish this, fast. Hey, your opponent is over here. If you got any guts, fight me one-on-one. What's the point of calling your lackeys? Though it couldn't understand human speech, the Rat King was completely enraged. Its body was charred, one of its eyes was ruined, and it glared at Song An with pure, murderous intent. Just as Song An rushed forward, it suddenly activated a skill. A cloud of black smoke shot towards him. Seeing this, Song An quickly stopped and raised his guard. I can't believe it still had a defensive skill. With no damage. Crap, this is a crowd control ability. A system window appeared. Song An was hit with a blindness debuff for 12 seconds, completely losing his sight. While blinded, every hit taken from the Rat King would extend the duration by 2 seconds. Song An calmed himself, trying to think of a counter. I can't let it hit me. If I can just survive until the debuff wears off, I can still win this. But there's no way it would miss a golden opportunity like this. If I were the boss, I'd attack from behind. Based on his own logic, Song An not only dodged the attack from behind but also managed to land a slash. But before he could celebrate, a fist slammed into his stomach. The Rat King went berserk, rushing forward and unleashing a storm of punches. With every blow that landed, the blindness timer increased by another 2 seconds. Realizing this was bad, Song An decisively scrambled away before he was beaten to death. But for someone afflicted with blindness, he was nothing more than a sitting duck. He only managed a few steps before being knocked to the ground, coughing up blood. A low health warning flashed, signaling his critical condition. Song An gasped for air, trying to find a way out of this mess. This is getting more dangerous by the second. Not only can't I clear the blind debuff, it's actually getting longer. Was I too arrogant? Relying on a few Easter eggs and some cheap tricks. I thought I could handle this boss easily, but I stumbled before I even really started. Do I have to use my ultimate skill already? No, that won't work. If I can't get rid of this blindness, the result will be the same. If I take any more hits in this state, I'm dead for real. While Song An was still stunned, he took another massive hit. He slammed into the cave wall, his health dropping to just 2 points. In this desperate moment, he tried to recall anything that could help. Damn it, my health bar is almost empty. If I don't use the Easter egg now, it'll be too late. But why am I still hesitating? It's like my brain has a mind of its own, stopping me. There's another way. Could there still be another way? Did I miss some crucial piece of information? The class, Easter egg, or an item? I can't regret giving the demon eye to Liu Zaihui. That piece of equipment would have saved me for sure. And right now, this bone blade is useless. What else do I have that can turn this around? Wait a second. Ah Kun's reward. Because it's always invisible, I completely forgot about its existence. Damn it, I took all those hits for nothing. Just as the Rat King moved in for the final blow, Song activated the invisible black-rimmed glasses. The blindness effect was instantly cleared. If he had been even 1 second slower, he would have been smashed into a pulp. It was all thanks to Ah Kun's gift that Song An was still alive. The Rat King was stunned to see its prey could see again. Never before had any victim escaped its grasp like this. Song An then used his own blade to cut his arm, dropping his health by 1 point. Looks like me clearing your little debuff really surprised you. Huh. Don't worry, I've got an even bigger surprise for you. When I use this Easter egg, you don't stand a chance. As his health dropped to 1, a new system window appeared. Player Song An's health has fallen to 1. Activating Easter egg, desperate counterattack. For the next 3 minutes, all of the player's stats will be doubled. But for 1 hour after the effect ends, stats will be reduced to half their original value. Warning: healing is disabled while this state is active. A crimson aura exploded from Song An's body, his eyes glowing intensely. I can feel it. Power is overflowing from my body. Are you ready to die? Before the Rat King could even react, Song An was on it, carving a deep gash across its chest. This time, the wound was much deeper, and he was fast enough to easily dodge the boss's counterattack. I'm so strong right now. I can definitely take this boss down. With my boosted stats, I can see its movements perfectly. But no matter how strong I am, 1 hit is all it takes to kill me. I can't let my guard down for a second. Overwhelmed, the Rat King used its black smoke skill again. But this time, it had no effect on Song An, using the same old trick again. I won't lose to you anymore, because I'm going to become the king. He charged straight at the boss, meeting it head-on without a shred of fear. Meanwhile, back in the newbie zone, all eyes were fixed on one person. Holy cow, are you sure they're not cheating? You call this a quest? She's just slaughtering everything. Those level 6 apes are like tissue paper to her. She's already cleared out all the monsters here. What are the rest of us even supposed to do? The person they were talking about was none other than Liu Zaihui, a massive scythe in her hand. Experiencing what it was like to be carried, Sun Yue's jaw was on the floor. We don't even have to do anything. Getting free experience like this is amazing. Without breaking a sweat, Liu Zaihui smiled cheerfully. It's fine, I'll protect you all. You guys can just focus on picking up the items. With the equipment Song An lent her, these weak mobs were no problem at all. I wonder how Song An is doing. At the mention of Song An, someone asked, I really don't get it. Why didn't Song An party up with us? And why didn't he keep this awesome weapon for himself? What's he up to? Don't tell me he's trying to raid the underground city alone? Sun Yu immediately shot down the idea. The underground city? Don't be ridiculous. How could anyone raid that place alone? You all saw the data when we designed it. You need a party of at least 5 people to even stand a chance. Liu Zaihui simply said she trusted Song An wouldn't do anything he wasn't confident about. Hearing this, Sun Yue scoffed. Liu Zaihui, you have way too much faith in him. You saw how weak he looked back at the company. By now, he's probably. But before he could finish, Liu Zaihui cut him off. He's not. But I know Tong An. He's more resilient than anyone. Back on Tong An's side, after a desperate struggle on the brink of death, he was the one left standing. The massive EXP gain shot him up several levels, instantly refilling his health bar. But in 1 hour, a crippling debuff would kick in. Tong An lay on the ground, gasping for breath, but laughing triumphantly. Ha 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 ha! I actually won this battle. A system notification popped up. Reached level 10. Skill acquisition unlocked. Your first skill slot has been activated. Receive skill from the Yen Tin Rat King. This was an S-rank skill he fought tooth and nail to get. Tong An had zero reason to refuse. In the game New World, the skill system was pretty interesting. Players unlocked a new skill slot at level 10, 30, 60, and 90. You could only learn a skill if you had an open slot. And the skills themselves came from monsters you or your party took down. Different monsters meant different skills, so players had to choose carefully, because once a skill was learned, it was permanent. That was the general rule. Anyway, of course, skills were also graded by rank, split into 3 tiers: S rank, A rank, and B rank. A skill's power was directly tied to the strength of the slain monster. Basically, it broke down like this: Dungeon bosses or powerful monsters with ruler in their description dropped S-rank skills. Elite or rare monsters with elite in their description dropped A-rank skills. And monsters with no description at all dropped B-rank skills. When a skill dropped, it started at level 1, and you needed star coins to upgrade it. With every level up, the skill's effectiveness would be massively enhanced. But when Tongnan checked the upgrade cost for his new skill, he screamed out loud, 1 million star coins. Even though an upgraded S-rank skill would be a game changer, 1 million was just insane. The next level would probably cost 5 million. No wonder Raphael said star coins were so crucial. If just one skill costs this much, everything else must be insanely expensive. But that's fine. My main goal here was to farm star coins anyway. After checking his rewards, Tongnan decided to set his master plan in motion. By now, the Yen Tin rats had surrounded him, ready to attack. But Tongnan didn't fight back, he just casually chatted them up. You guys are getting impatient. Huh. You all swarmed up here in a flash. How'd you even do that? As the rats closed in, Tongnan remained completely unbothered. Hey, no need to be so hostile. Your big boss is dead, so there's no reason for us to fight. From now on, let's just all get along. Hehe, starting today, you all work for me. Tongnan held up the special Yen Tin control stone, successfully taming all 198 Yen Tin rats in the area. With such a massive workforce, he wouldn't have to worry about being short-staffed. From this moment on, you're Rat 1, and you're Rat 2. You two will take 40 of your brothers and start mining the eastern sector. Rat 3 and 4, you handle the west. Rat 5 and 6 will take the south, and Rat 7 and 8 get the north. Alright, the Tongnan Mining Corporation is officially in business. My brothers, my grand plan to get rich rests on your shoulders. Are you confident you can get it done? The completely brainwashed rats roared in approval of their new capitalist overlord. At his command, they all scurried off to work without a single complaint. Seeing everything unfold according to his plan, Tongnan was extremely satisfied. Suddenly, he heard a tiny squeak at his feet. What can I do for you? Looking down, he saw an unbelievably cute little rat. Whoa, there's still a Yen Tin rat this tiny? Ha ha, you're way too small to be of any help. Besides, we have enough workers now. You can go do whatever you want. You don't have to work. Hearing this, the little rat's eyes filled with tears. I want to be useful, too. Seeing that the little guy was about to cry, Tongnan quickly thought of a new plan. Okay, how about this? You can be my supervisor. Help me keep an eye on everyone. See who's working hard and who's slacking off. For any rat you see working hard, give them 1 gold coin as a reward. But you can't play favorites or keep the coins for yourself. Got it? If overall efficiency goes up, I'll give you a special reward. From now on, your name is Little Rat 0, and I'll be your big boss. As if it understood every word, the tiny rat saluted with its paws and immediately scurried off to begin its duties. Spurred on by the promise of star coins, the Yen Tin rats' morale skyrocketed, and their mining speed increased dramatically. With some downtime, Tongnan used the pile of Yen Tin stones to craft equipment. Yen Tin stone was a type of magic ore from the underground city. As a low-grade magic stone, it could be used for crafting gear. 20 Yen Tin stones could be fused into a random piece of equipment, suitable for players between levels 10 and 20. Most of the time, it would create D-rank gear. The chance of getting a C-rank item was only 0.5%. The rate for high-grade equipment varied depending on the type of magic ore. To put it simply, the higher the grade of the ore, the better the chances of crafting top-tier gear. After 2 tries, Tongnan crafted 2 D-rank items with pretty garbage stats. Equipment ranks were divided into 6 types. S rank was red, A was orange, B was purple, C was blue, D was green, and E was white. The power gap between ranks was enormous, but even items of the same rank could have different qualities. Tongnan's own bone spear was a B-rank weapon with fairly basic stats. It only reached B rank because of its special attribute that increased damage to demons. Even though his crafted gear was a letdown, Tongnan remained calm. This was just the beginning. Thanks to his Easter egg symbiosis skill, as long as he kept over 100 Yen Tin rats alive, the Yen Tin stones would regenerate automatically. Still, Tongnan was a bit worried about how long he'd have to stay here. If he took too long, he'd fall behind the other players in leveling. He watched the operation and did some quick math. 1 rat could mine 1 stone in about 10 minutes. The efficiency of 2 rats was roughly equal to 1 ordinary merchant. If he needed 12,000 pieces of equipment, that would be 240,000 Yen Tin stones. Each rat working 16 hours a day could gather 96 stones. With 197 rats working together, the entire process would take approximately 14 days. The timeline matched his original estimate, so 14 days it is. This will be the first step on my path to the top. Time flew by, and just like that, 2 weeks had passed. As Tongnan was relaxing and eating noodles in his tent, Little Rat Zero rushed in with a report. It's bad, boss. It's bad. Everyone's fighting. Rat 3 and Rat 5 are fighting over a huge yen-tin stone they found. They both insist they dug it up and want to give it to you. Hearing this, Tong-an was actually a little touched. All right, I appreciate the thought from both of you. You each get a gold nugget as a reward. From now on, you two need to act like brothers, okay? Don't fight over such silly things. And little Rat Zero, for your dedicated work, you get a reward too. As for the rest of you, if you want a prize, you better give it your all today. This final push all depends on you. At the sight of rewards, the yen-tin rats got more fired up than ever, diving back into their work. Thanks to them, the equipment Tong and crafted was now piled as high as a mountain. Over the past 14 days, he had created a total of 11,379 items, with only 9 failures. Among them were 67 C-rank items, and Tong had already equipped the best 8. The rest were all D-rank. With this massive haul, he was sure to make a killing in star coins from an NPC merchant. But for the NPC merchant to appear, he first had to clear the underground city. That meant wiping out all the yen-tin rats. After spending so many days with them, Tong couldn't bring himself to do it. He had discovered these little monsters were actually pretty cute. Looking at little Rat Zero, Tungman tried to steal his resolve. Tungman, you have to be ruthless. If you want power that surpasses everyone else, sacrifices must be made. I have to meet the NPC merchant. But maybe I don't have to go that far. Using a C-rank spirit binding leash, Tong-an could make little Rat Zero his official pet, freeing it from the dungeon's rules. This way, he could also ease the guilt in his heart. Just then, Raphael's shout echoed through the cavern. What in the world is going on here? Why is there so much equipment? Meow? Ah, it's the cat. When you defeated that level 40 boss, I already knew something was strange, and now you've crafted all this. None of this looks like normal gameplay. You'd better start explaining yourself right now. If I find out you use some kind of cheat or exploit, I will not forgive you. Faced with an army of rat monsters, diligently mining magic stones for Song-an, like a corporate workforce, Raphael was absolutely stunned. Using monsters to farm magic stones, his eyes shot to the glittering mountain of gear, and he hissed, all this equipment. Raphael was furious, his finger pointing straight at Song-an. You better start explaining, Song-an. Are you using some kind of cheat? Seeing the admin here, Song-an's heart dropped. Why was Raphael in this place? Crap, did I get caught for abusing the Easter eggs? He quickly tried to change the subject, playing dumb to distract him. Cheating. Is it even possible to cheat in this game? Hearing that, Raphael instantly saw through his little act. He snapped back. Of course not. Now answer my question. Seeing how quickly he dismissed the idea, Song-an knew. Okay, he doesn't know about the Easter eggs yet. There was still a chance to salvage this. He just had to cover for the gear. He awkwardly held up a brilliant red magic stone. If you're talking about the rat monsters, it's just a special effect for my equipment. It lets me control the rat monsters to help me mine. Surely that's not considered cheating, is it? Raphael wasn't about to argue. He just made a demand. Let me inspect it. Meow. The moment he heard inspect, Song-an hid the magic stone like a cat burying its business. You're not trying to take the equipment I worked so hard to get, are you? Accused of being a thief, Raphael completely lost it. He just wanted to give the kid a beatdown. What would I do with that junk? Now hand it over, meow. After taking the magic stone from Song-an, Raphael began his inspection. He confirmed it was a legitimate system item. Finally, he found the reason for this whole mess. Okay, this explains the massive number of mining rats. He tossed the magic stone back to him. There's nothing wrong with this equipment. You can have it back, meow. Song-an carefully caught it, unable to hide the joy in his voice. Awesome. This thing was a real pain to get. But just because the inspection was over, didn't mean he was off the hook. Raphael put his hands on his hips, asking sharply, then what about this mountain of gear? Don't even try to lie. The question alone told Song-an he couldn't bluff his way out. So much for changing the topic. With a serious expression, Raphael pressed him. Dungeon resources are normally extremely limited. How did you possibly mine this many yen-tin stones? Each cycle, the underground city produces enough magic stones to craft 10 items at most, and that's not even counting the failure rate for normal merchants. How do you explain this? Song-an looked down at the ground. The rat monster on his shoulder watched him intently as he replied, Oh, that? It's not as complicated as it sounds. Then he just put his hands behind his head and grinned. Honestly, I have no idea. Raphael was floored. What? He screamed. Song-an waved his hands around dramatically. At first, I just wanted to mine a few stones to make some gear, but they just kept coming. So, I figured I'd stick around and craft for a while. Raphael questioned him again. And you didn't get any kind of error notification? Song-an's reply was firm. Nope. Despite the intense interrogation, he kept his cool. If a notification window popped up, I obviously would have known. That's what he said, but inside, he was smirking. As long as the GM had no proof, he couldn't do a thing. Raphael fell for it, completely confused. How is this possible? Meow. Is anyone else here? Seeing him take the bait, Song-en was ecstatic. Of course. My juniors are here. They can all vouch for me. The horde of rat monsters immediately cheered in agreement. We completely agree with the boss's statement. Raphael was still skeptical. You're the one controlling them. Besides, I hate rats. Meow. He frowned and started complaining. Players were reporting that they couldn't enter the underground city, so I came to check it out. I never expected to find a problem this massive. Meow. Only then did it dawn on Song-en. So that's it. I've been in here for so long, I'm blocking other players from entering the map. Raphael asked again. Are you sure you don't know? Song-en. You better not be lying to me. The main character immediately waved his hands to deny it. I wouldn't dare. He pounded his chest to prove his innocence. On this, you have my word. My honor. Suddenly, a notification window popped up between them, making them both jump. Symbiotic Easter egg effect activated. Yentin's stones have been regenerated. That one message contained everything needed to completely expose Song-en's lie. Yentin symbiosis. Yentin rats and Yentin stones share a symbiotic relationship. As long as the Yentin rat population is maintained above 100, the Yentin stones will automatically regenerate. Sustainable mining is the best mining. After reading the notification, beads of sweat rolled down his face. He was speechless. Raphael, on the other hand, was stunned. That's not a system notification. Song-en quickly tried to make an excuse to bail. Oh, you know what? I just remembered I have something to do. I'll get going. Realizing his plan, Raphael's blood boiled as he screamed his name, Song-en. He shot towards him, his face a mask of pure rage. You little liar. You were exploiting a bug all along. And you had the nerve to tell me you knew nothing. Song-en desperately tried to talk him down. Calm down. I can still explain. His mind was racing, totally blanking on a plan. Just one thought echoed in his head. I'm so screwed. Of all the times for the Easter egg to respawn, Raphael immediately cast a spell. System command, fix. As he fixed the bug, he declared, I will not allow any loopholes to exist. Song-en yelled out, Wait, Raphael. He was panicking inside. No, I'm gonna lose the Easter egg. But it was too late. Raphael's spell formed a sphere, engulfing the exploit. System fix in progress. But after a moment, nothing happened. The two Yentin rats stared blankly at the Easter egg. Fix failed. The system has determined this phenomenon is in accordance with natural law. No fix is required. The situation left Raphael's jaw on the floor. What? Song-en had the exact same reaction. Whoa. He quickly pulled himself together and analyzed the situation. The system isn't interfering with the Easter egg and even considers it a valid mechanic. This was totally unexpected. No matter how many times Raphael issued the fix command, the system just displayed no fix required. He couldn't believe his eyes, trying again and again, dozens of times. How is this possible? The gear is invalid too. While Raphael frantically spammed the command, Song-en just stood there and watched. It seems the system thinks these Easter eggs are the biggest bug of all. After thousands of failed attempts, he dropped his hands in defeat, tears welling in his eyes. Why is this happening, meow? Song-en said calmly, I told you. I haven't been cheating at all. Even the system acknowledges this equipment. You should just give it up. Raphael's fury spiked at his words, but with nowhere to direct it, he could only sputter out one word. You. Then, suddenly, his face darkened. He declared that he would not let the game's fairness be destroyed. Then I have no choice but to use this, meow. The moment he raised his hand, a system window appeared. Extermination command initiated. Target confirmation, 197 out of 197. The two Yentin rats were still diligently mining, completely oblivious. A second later, they were logged out of existence. Their only last words, a final, desperate squeak. Chirp. Song-en screamed in horror, Rat 8, Rat 7. A flood of notifications popped up in front of him. Yentin rat has been destroyed. Acquired 88 experience points. Rat 0, clinging to his shoulder, was also caught in the system's purge. It squeaked nonstop. Seeing Rat 0 start to fade, he quickly commanded it, Rat 0, hide inside the equipment. Now. Raphael calmly watched as the system wiped out the entire rat army. By destroying his minions, he could stop him. Unfortunately, the system still credited the player with the kills. What a twisted bonus for him. For every rat that vanished, Song-en's EXP shot up, gained 88 experience points. But he couldn't care less about the points. All he cared about were his minions fading away. Rat 3. Rat 4. Stop this. Raphael was relentless. Song-en had no choice but to summon his dagger. Damn it. Raphael watched his every move, his eyes widening in complete shock at what he did next. He lunged forward, slashing directly at Raphael. The admin dodged with lightning speed. Meow, he snarled, enraged. You've got some nerve, Song-an. Are you actually trying to attack me? Song-an was desperate now and roared right back at him. Finish the order now, Raphael's voice boomed. It's too late. Once the elimination order starts, it can't be stopped. Raphael is carrying out justice. The moment it finished speaking, the system announced the Yenten rat count was below 100. Easter X symbiosis had lost its effect. With the rat population decimated, Song-an's old advantage was gone. He gained 88 experience points. Hearing that word, justice, he couldn't help but scoff. Justice. So you can use that as an excuse to decide who lives and dies? You're just bullying the weak. Enraged that he twisted its words, Raphael threw a fit. Meow. Raphael's justice is never wrong. Seeing it so stubborn, a fire ignited within Song-an. Your justice isn't wrong. Huh. He immediately used Easter to activate a hidden condition. The Easter X Dangerous Player condition, unlocked by single-handedly defeating over 150 monsters of an equal or higher level. Your abilities will now exceed all expectations, becoming a genuine threat to your enemies. Hidden Attribute Reward. Dangerous Player. When facing an enemy with 15 times or more power than you, a bonus is granted. Damage plus 50%. Physical damage reduction plus 50%. Magic damage reduction plus 50%. Also possesses a powerful intimidation effect. Raphael was practically steaming. How did this happen? Why has a new loophole appeared? This is infuriating. Meow. Song, and calmly stood before it, dagger in hand. Thanks to your justice, I've unlocked another rare attribute. Raphael was furious but utterly powerless, so Song-an decided to push its buttons. I bet you're really losing your patience now, aren't you? He said through gritted teeth. Planning to use that elimination order on me, too, he finally hit a nerve. Or is it that you can't actually do anything to me? All this time, the system notifications hadn't stopped for a second. Yenten rats have been completely eliminated. Raphael shrieked, pointing an accusing finger. You're a cheater. Song-an's expression darkened as he pieced it all together. I'll admit, I took a gamble. That elimination order wasn't like the others. It had a specific targeting option. 197 targets appeared, which must have been the monsters. Raphael and I weren't on that list. Seeing it lose its mind like this confirmed about 90% of my theory, and judging by its reaction. I bet correctly. That order must be useless against players. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed from the cave entrance. The noise snapped them both out of their intense standoff. Raphael growled, "Who's there?" Meow. The wandering merchant, A-dong, entered slowly, scratching his head with an awkward smile. Am I interrupting something, sir? A-dong, the wandering merchant. They always show up after a dungeon is cleared, mainly to buy and sell equipment, and sometimes they sell rare items. He cleverly suggested, or I could just come back later. Seems like a bad time. But Song-an's voice cut through the air, stopping him. Don't go. Your timing is perfect. I've been waiting for you. He casually waved Raphael aside, deliberately provoking it. It's fine. This one is harmless. Since it can't do anything to me anyway, we can talk business. A-dong forced a smile. Are you sure? Seeing the utter disrespect, Raphael exploded. Song-an, you've gone too far. Meow. Acting on behalf of the system. I order a correction. A second later, the system pinged. Invalid. The command has no effect on players. It ordered again and again, but the system just kept repeating the same message. Meow. 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 Song-an completely ignored the tantrum, turning to reassure A-dong. You know how cats are? So competitive. Just ignore it. The merchant just replied, right. Raphael continued to shout orders at him. Song-an, get back here this instant. Seeing them both ignore it, completely focus on the pile of gear. It was about to die from rage. This is infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. Why can't I do anything to him? Why does a bug-like player like this even exist? Infuriating. Meow. Suddenly, an urgent S.O.S. from another player reached Raphael. Other players are in trouble too. And it's a code red emergency. In that case, I have to put this on hold. Damn it. Meow. It yelled to get their attention. Song-an, I'm letting you off the hook this time. A portal was already swirling open. It didn't leave without a final threat. I may not be able to touch you now, but one day, I'll find a way to punish you. It huffed, then leaped into the portal and vanished. Seeing it finally leave, Song-an heaved a sigh of relief. Finally gone. Even though it helped me get an extremely rare achievement, I can't feel happy about it at all. He thought back to his former companions, the Yenten rats, and his heart ached. Maybe it's because I feel ashamed. After all, they were just low-level workers. Just then, A-dong's voice broke his train of thought. Mr. Song. Hey, Mr. Song. Song, and snapped out of it. Ah, Mr. sounds weird. Just call me Song-an. So, What's the price? Adong replied, I can buy them for 6,000 apiece. What do you think? Hearing that price, his face immediately soured. He put his hands on his hips and said, 6,000 is way too low. Are you merchants always this vicious? Including time, materials, and the success rate, my cost was already 5,000. His mouth went into overdrive as he argued for a higher price. Right now, players outside are only around level 10. The demand for D-rank equipment is huge. You could easily flip these for 20,000 apiece, no problem. Besides, I have over 10,000 pieces right here. Does 6,000 apiece really sound fair? Adong quickly tried to calm him. Fine, then what price do you think is fair? You name it. Song grinned greedily, holding up one finger, then two. I want 12,000 apiece. The merchant was shocked. You just doubled the price. You're the real cutthroat here. Let's do 7,000. He didn't yield, offering a slightly lower price. 11,000. Adong refused. 8,000. I'm about to lose money. Song and insisted on his price. 10,000. If you don't agree, I can't help you. Adong was backed into a corner, holding up 9 fingers. 9,000. I can't afford any more than that. Song and firmly shook his hand, sealing the deal. He smiled with extreme satisfaction. 9,000 it is. Adong opened his backpack and started collecting the weapons. Why do I get the feeling I've been tricked? Watching the huge backpack suck in the giant pile of weapons, Song marveled. That bag can hold that much equipment? Adong started to complain. I'm just worried about making a profit. Once players start leveling up, this gear will be worthless. I'll lose a fortune. Song gave him a thumbs up, cheering him on. You don't need to worry about that. I've already thought of a way to help you. I'll even give you 50 more pieces for free. After all, this is our first time doing business. Consider it a friendly gesture. Adong was shocked, unable to believe his ears. He asked again, this one piece could be worth 200,000. Are you really giving it to me? Song slowly laid out his brilliant idea, based on a gacha game mechanic. You'll let players roll for prizes. When they win a D-rank item, there will be a small chance to get a C-rank item as a bonus. Right now, there are probably no C-rank items on the market. How could they not want it? I even worked out the rate for you. A win rate of 0.5%. It's just enough to make sure the D-rank equipment sells out. Adong grabbed his hand like he was a savior who just prevented the apocalypse. Mr. Song, you're a business genius. How could you think of such a brilliant plan? Adong, I absolutely must be friends with you. As if to prove his over-the-top joy, the system announced Adong's favorability toward you is increasing. He stood behind him, watching him celebrate, and thought with his hands on his hips. For this, I have to thank the very first person who ever dreamed of pulling an SSR card. I'm just following their lead. Adong was still ecstatic, collecting the gear while saying, wait just a moment, I'll transfer the crystal coins to you right away. Suddenly, Song remembered. Ah, that's right. Can't forget this. He activated the Crown of Greed, and the system announced it was activating its effect. The average price per item jumped to 9,900, for a grand total of 111,888,800 crystal coins. Adong hoisted the huge backpack up, but the bag alone wasn't enough. Most of the weapons are in the sack I'm holding. He handed over a VIP card. This is 11,888,800 in cash. The remaining 100 million is on this VIP card. This VIP card certifies you as a member of the New World Guild. From now on, you'll get special treatment and premium discounts when you trade in Area A. The kid was impressed. Oh, awesome. Song reached out and took the card. The moment his fingers touched it, a golden circle of light erupted around him, sending a brilliant pillar straight into the sky. 2 system notifications popped up back to back. He'd unlocked the 100 Millionaire achievement, and his base favorability with all NPCs instantly jumped by 10. The star coins in his account started spinning like a slot machine. VIP merchant status confirmed. A second later, his balance officially hit 100 million. A smirk played on Song lips. One small goal, completed. He threw a friendly arm around Adong's shoulder like they were old war buddies. Adong, let's keep in touch. I'll be sure to bring you even higher quality goods. Hearing this, the merchant beamed back. Of course, of course. Boss Tong is my lucky star. Adong then pulled out another small pouch. Whatever was inside, he insisted. Since Boss Tong has been so generous, it'd be rude of me not to offer a little something in return. At the same time, the system pinged with an update. Adong's favorability had maxed out at 100. Talk about an unexpected bonus, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Song was thrilled. This was one surprise after another. Who knew maxing out favorability came with extra rewards? Adong placed 3 small vials filled with a clear liquid in front of him. The item was fairy water. It could be used at any time to instantly cleanse all negative statuses, while also fully restoring his base HP and MP. A huge grin spread across Song An's face, his voice filled with unconcealed joy. Now this is good stuff. Adong replied, you bet. This is super rare. I only have 3 vials. If it wasn't for my friendship with Boss Ton, I'd never let them go. He picked up a vial of fairy water, thinking, with this, I can take on even bigger risks. Adong shouldered his backpack, bidding him farewell. Well, Boss Ton, since our business is concluded, I'll be heading out. I can't wait to go make some more bank. But suddenly, Song An called after him. Wait, Dong. He stopped and turned his head. Is there something else? A sly look crossed Song An's face as he rubbed his thumb and index finger together. I want to buy a little something extra from you. You got any of that? White powder. Meanwhile, in a dilapidated room, a blue circle slowly began to materialize on the wall. The circle formed a spatial gate as the system announced the goblin cave had been cleared. Song An casually stepped out of the portal and let out a sigh. Finally, it's over. As soon as he was through, the portal snapped shut. The reset timer was 3 days. Song An barely reacted to the notification, just muttering to himself, guess I have to wait for the cooldown again. He rested his fist under his chin, deep in thought. Even though that run was full of difficulties, he managed to get everything done. He had the skills, the gear, and the star coins. Next up, he'd have to level up some of his weapons. Standing in the ruined room, Song An's voice rang out with new resolve. All right, it's decided. That's my next small goal. He walked from one end of the room to the other, the walls on both sides completely wrecked. When he reached the exit, his jaw dropped in shock. What the heck is this? A crowd of drivers was swarming the gate, all fighting to pick up a fare. Hey you, where are you headed? One shouted, take my car. I know this area like the back of my hand. Another tried to undercut him on price. I'm cheaper. Come over here. Song An was totally confused, wondering, why are there so many drivers mobbing the gate? He quickly held up his hands. Whoa, hold on. Give me a second to think. He thought to himself, what in the world happened out here during the few days I was gone? Suddenly, a red car roared up, its engine grabbing everyone's attention. The red sports car drifted in a perfect half moon, parking right beside Song An. Lam Nam leaned over from the driver's seat. Hey kid, need a ride. Fast and stable, guaranteed. He added that he'd even provide free information. Song An's mind was now just a cloud of question marks, with no idea what was going on. Just another player in the mix? The other drivers started yelling, pointing straight at him. Lam Nam, it's you again. Trying to steal our business. We're not letting you this time. I found him first. Something finally started to click in Song An's mind. So, they're competing for fares? A blonde driver turned back to him with a smile. Hey brother, ride with me. I'll give you a 20% discount. Song An thought, nah, that older dude seems more reliable. I'm going with him. Realizing he was seriously lacking useful intel, Song An said, sorry guys. He walked straight toward Lam Nam, leaving the other drivers completely stunned. He hopped into the back seat and gave the signal. Let's go, bro. Drive to Mount Thien Muk in Sector G. The driver gave a simple one-word reply before starting the engine. He looked ahead, focused on the road, and said, you made the right choice, kid. Hold on tight. The car shot forward, leaving the pack of drivers behind with their angry shouts. Hey, I was clearly here first. The car sped smoothly down the main road. Song An broke the silence. Brother Nam, who were those guys back there? And why are they all waiting outside the underground city gate? Lam Nam answered as he drove. They're all just people hustling for star coins. They ferry players between zones to make a living, just like me. They wait at the gate because it's the easiest place to find a customer. Driving players around can't make that much, can it? Why not just grind monsters or do quests? Wouldn't that be a faster way to earn star coins? The driver glanced at him in the rearview mirror, asking a totally unrelated question. You must be pretty good at this game, huh, kid? Hearing that, Song An frowned. What do you mean by that? Lam Nam explained. It's good that you're skilled. Not everyone can adapt to how the world has changed. Even with that cryptic answer, Song An was still lost. Huh? The driver pulled out a pack of cigarettes, offering him one. Want a smoke? He politely refused. No, thanks. Seeing that he didn't smoke, Lam Nam didn't push it. He just lit one for himself. When the world suddenly turned into this, just being able to survive is a miracle for guys like us, let alone keeping up with the rules of this new world. He replied slowly, his eyes thoughtful. Those drivers at the gate, they're all people who can't kill monsters, so they have to fall back on their old jobs to scrape together a few star coins. Song and shot back. Can't kill monsters? That can't be right. Monsters respawn regularly, and there are tons of them, at least in the wild. Lam Nam just chuckled at his naive outlook. He sighed. Sure, there are plenty of monsters in the wild, but you have to be able to reach them first. The major guilds have monopolized all the good farming spots, Low-level players like us don't stand a chance of even getting close. Hearing this, Song An got serious. Brother Nam, I was in the underground city for a long time, so I'm out of the loop on guilds. Can you tell me which ones are out there? Now this was a question right up his alley. Lam Nam's confidence returned. He pointed to his chest. Then you've asked the right person. Kid, I'm the walking news agency around here. Seeing his confidence, Song An was relieved. That's great. And so, the driver began his detailed explanation. Right now, there are 3 major guilds. One is the Strategy Group, another is the Star Coin Alliance, and the last one is the East Mountain Society. Each guild has its own specialty, but the strongest is definitely the Strategy Group. I heard their leader, Lai Thi Et Du, is about to hit level 20. As he spoke, the system helpfully displayed an info panel for Song An. The Strategy Group. Guildmaster, Lai Thi Et Du. A collection of over 80% of high-level players aiming to become the ruling class of this new world. The Star Coin Alliance. Guildmaster, Du Fi. All members must possess a net worth of at least several hundred thousand. They control the game's most critical resources. The East Mountain Society. Guildmaster, Demon Dragon. They rose to power by taking over low-level dungeons. They specialize in robbing players of their resources. They have the most members, but their strength is the most inconsistent. They are also, by far, the most hated guild among all players. When he heard the name of the strategy group's leader, Song, and froze. Lai Thi Du. That name is so familiar. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. When he mentioned the East Mountain Society, Lam Nam's brow furrowed with obvious disgust. But among them, the East Mountain Society. The members of that guild are nothing but bad news. They specialize in stealing items and resources from other players, and they're always trying to recruit more people. The car sped down the road, the scenery a blur. They've occupied all the low-level monster fields. They're the reason guys like us can't level up. So, listen, kid. If you ever run into them, stay far away. Song An paused for a moment, letting the man's words sink in. Resource hoarding. Major guild conflicts. In just a few days, the world outside had turned into a war zone. He steeled his resolve. Peace was never an option. He had to get stronger and fast. A short while later, the car arrived. Blue skies, white clouds, towering trees. This was Celestial Peak, Sector G. Lam Nam announced his brother's arrival. Song and stood by the car, ready to pay the man. That'll be 3,500 star coins. The driver asked curiously, Hey kid, you plan on grinding here alone? The mobs are all level 10 and up. It's tough for a solo player. Song An just gave a polite, reassuring answer. Don't worry, I'm used to working alone. But his real thoughts were different. Wild monsters? My target is the underground city. Even though they were just a driver and a customer, the shared ride created a small bond. Lam Nam couldn't help but give him a warning. Don't get mad at me for nagging. But don't be a hero. Staying alive is what matters most. He added, half joking, if you can't win, you run. There's no shame in survival. Song An was touched. I know. Thanks, man. Seeing that his advice wasn't getting through, the driver gave up. All right, I'm heading out. Message me in the friends list if you need anything. Song An watched with a smile as he drove away. When was the last time someone actually cared about him? He opened his friends list. Just one name was there, Lam Nam. A friend's system, huh. Song and fiddled with the interface as he walked. He'd left in such a hurry last time, he forgot to friend Tai Hui. He wondered how she was doing. Then again, with the gear she got from the Demon Lord, she's probably fine. As he finally neared the cave entrance, he saw a group already at the gate. They were arguing with 2 guards. Just let us in already. Song An ducked behind a bush to watch. Huh? Someone beat me here. The cocky-looking leader was pleading with the guards. There's a bunch of us. We can definitely clear this. Why won't you let us in? The only girl in the group chimed in. Yeah, what he said. The annoyed guard pointed his spear at the stubborn crew. I already told you, you're not level 20 yet. The guard's face was grim, his mind set in stone. You are not qualified to enter this underground city. This was a system NPC, part of the Guardian Army. These troops, averaging over level 30, protect dangerous underground cities. To stop players from getting themselves killed too early, these diligent soldiers had a few quirks. A massive gate materialized, crackling with sparks of electricity. Dungeon info, desolate swamp. Difficulty C. Minimum level, 20. Recommended party, 6 to 10 players. The guards immediately blocked the group from moving forward. Don't even try it. You're not getting in until you're level 20. Kai Ho Luke raised a hand, his voice dripping with arrogance. Maybe you don't understand our power. I am Kai Ho Luke, vice leader of the Strategy Guild. He scowled, his confidence unwavering. We've already cleared 5 dungeons. I'm the second in command of the most powerful guild out there. You think there's a place I can't go? But the guard stood firm. Level not met. Entry denied. Those are the rules, he smirked. Rules? Then I'll just have to break them. His teammate beside him started grinning wickedly. Guess we have to use force. The guards immediately aimed their spears right at them. If you try to force your way in, we won't show any mercy. Just then, Song An's voice cut through the tension. I'd advise you not to mess with these guards. He couldn't help but grin to himself. He'd run into a guild already, and a vice leader at that. Kai Ho Luke snapped his head around, demanding, "Who's there?" Song An stepped forward calmly and spoke, "Let's not even talk about whether you can beat these guards. Even if you win, can you handle the punishment from the NPCs?" The guild leader crossed his arms, flatly denying Song An's words. Punishment? What nonsense. I've never heard of such a thing. Song An pointed at the guards with a slight smile. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You can ask them. NPCs can't lie, after all. One of the guards sheathed his sword and explained, "He's right. If you had tried to force your way in, you would have been immediately blacklisted from all dungeons in the Haddam Kingdom. For 15 days, you wouldn't be allowed to enter any dungeon at all." Kai Ho Luke's teammates immediately started freaking out. 15 days? We'd fall completely behind the other players. Good thing we didn't attack. The leader thought for a moment, his sharp eyes sizing up Song An. So it was true. Who is this kid? How does he know so much? Could he be one of the game developers like Lee Triet do? This was getting annoying. He glanced back and gave a quiet order. Matha, check his class and level. Matha, wearing a red cloak, smiled. On it, a small circle appeared over her eye as she began her analysis. Reconnaissance cloak. The recon skill could gather information on a player's class and level. Suddenly, Song An spoke up innocently, holding his hand out. "Hey soldier, I actually came here for this dungeon, too. Think you could bend the rules a little?" The guard raised a confused eyebrow. "You're not level 20 either, are you? Then there's nothing to discuss." Song An glanced over, his tone unchanged, as an item panel appeared to his left. "Don't be so quick to refuse." Item menu. As he spoke, a green object popped into existence. "There are too many people here. We should talk in private." The guard's eyes went wide in shock. "What?" A guy with glasses in Ho Luke's crew couldn't help but shout in surprise. "What's going on?" Even Kai Ho Luke himself was confused by the tent that just appeared. A tent? What kind of trick is this? The guard's subordinate cried out in alarm. "Chief Guardian." But the chief just raised a hand to calm him. "I can handle this. You all continue your watch." The strategy guild members couldn't help but start gossiping. Is he trying to bore the guard to death or something? Cut the chatter. Matha ignored them, giving her report in a low voice. "Captain, his name is Song An, level 14, warrior class. He's not in any guild. Aside from looking a little dumb, there's nothing special about him." This made Kai Ho Luke raise an eyebrow and laugh. "That weak? And he still dared to come here?" Matha put a hand on her hip. "So what do we do now?" Her leader simply gestured for the team to hold their position. "We'll wait here for him to come out." But a huge question was now swirling in his mind. The kid said he came for the dungeon, too. Kai Ho Luke's brow furrowed, his voice practically a growl. "I want to see exactly what kind of game he's playing." Inside the tent, the guard, his cheeks slightly flushed, spoke cautiously. "What is the meaning of this?" Song, and put on a big, friendly smile. "Just a small token of my appreciation. I want to be friends with the Chief Guardian." He casually tossed out a huge pile of money toward the man. "A little something for you and your men to grab a drink." The bag glittered with gold coins. 50,000 star coins. The man's voice trembled slightly. He was clearly shaken by the tempting offer. "Hey, what kind of law-abiding citizen do you take me for? Do you really think I can be bribed so easily?" But Song An was laughing on the inside. "Try looking away from the money before you say that." He raised his hand again, looking serious. "My mistake." My sincerity was lacking. Instantly, a blinding pile of gold appeared. An additional 200,000 star coins. The guard clenched his teeth, trying to stay sane in the face of temptation. Why is he doing this? I can't hold out much longer. It didn't take long. The man smiled and casually stuffed the gold into his pocket. "From now on, you and I are friends," he kept telling himself. "I'm not really this kind of person, but damn, he offered a lot." Song An smiled, feeling how simple it all was. Having money really makes things easy. This was Song An's special skill, bribe. He could gain favor with NPCs by giving them star coins. The amount of coins needed varied depending on the NPC's status. Instead of racking your brain trying to please someone, why not just solve it with cash? It was a total cheat. He cut straight to the point. "So, head guard, what's the story with getting into Danyan?" The guard hesitated for just a moment. "Friendship is one thing, but business is another." A smirk played on his lips as he waved his hand again. "I'll have to ask you to figure something out for me." 5 huge bags of gold appeared instantly, along with 200,000 N. Immediately, a system notification chimed. Affinity with NPC head guard has reached 100. The man pulled out a blue card, explaining with a wide grin, I happen to have a special pass. Here, take it. Songin replied cheerfully, that's what I was waiting to hear. Meanwhile, Tiger Strength's crew, waiting outside, was starting to get restless. What's taking that punk so long? He's not doing something shameful in there, is he? Suddenly, his firm voice cut through. I'm out. The guard followed him out, enthusiastically explaining the card. This pass was a reward from the king himself for risking my life in battle. It's a symbol of honor. If we weren't such good friends, I'd never have taken it out. It might have one tiny flaw, but it shouldn't affect its use. Song An's face went pale as he buried it in his hands. But this one little flaw happens to be my biggest pet peeve. Hearing this, the guard narrowed his eyes and warned, just so you know, there are no refunds. Song An stared at the colorful pass, feeling completely dejected. Which developer designed this cursed item? It's totally unfriendly to solo players like me. The card's description was written right on it. Anti-solo player pass. Allows you to avoid being blocked by NPCs from entering high-risk dungeons. However, you must first have a teammate. If you bring a teammate along, they will surely be very grateful. Across from him, Tiger Strength finally lost his patience and cut in. Looks like you got a nice item from that NPC. Huh? Mind if we take a look? Song, and instantly snapped back to reality, glancing over his shoulder. It was the members of the strategy group, so they're still here. A dark, chilling aura began to radiate from Tiger Strength, his words laced with a threat. Technically, we were here first. Don't you think we deserve a share of that item? Song An met their hostile glares with a steady gaze, thinking to himself, such an aggressive aura. If I refuse, they'll probably resort to force. Too bad for them. They're messing with me. He was completely unfazed, a playful smirk on his face. This item symbolizes the head guard's honor. Why would I just give it to you for free? You want the pass? Fine, let's talk terms. A cold glint flashed in Tiger Strength's purple eyes. So it is a pass. His voice dropped low and cautious. What are your conditions? Song An raised a single finger, stating his demand clearly. It's simple. I want half of all the rewards from Danian. And the final boss kill reward. The group's archer gritted his teeth and shot back. Are you insane? If you take half the rewards, what's left for us? But Song An couldn't care less. There's no such thing as a free lunch in this world. If you don't like it, then forget it. Tiger Strength's brow remained furrowed, his sharp gaze sweeping over him. I'm afraid those terms are a little steep. How about this? We'll help you clear this dungeon. And we'll let you join the strategy group. How does that sound? He extended a hand, his posture arrogant and self-assured. Being invited by a vice leader like me is an honor, you know. A basic info panel popped up instantly. Tiger Strength, Special Class, Dual Mind, Level 18, Strategy Group Guild. An emblem representing his class appeared with it. Special Class, Dual Mind. Innately possesses the mind-splitting technique with a higher aptitude for learning skills and double the number of skill slots. Song An's eyes narrowed as he sized him up. A special class? Huh. Is he trying to flex the strategy group's power on me? But a guild has zero appeal for me. In fact, it would only slow down my growth. He shot back a cold, decisive reply, I'm not interested. After a pause, he added, items are more practical. The group's archer exploded in a fit of rage. Hey, do you have any idea how many people would kill to join our guild? You better learn to take a good offer when you see one. But surprisingly, Tiger Strength spoke up calmly. If that's what you want, fine. A smirk touched Song An's lips as he glanced at the fuming archer. See? Your leader agreed. The archer was completely baffled. Huh. But then Tiger Strength clenched his fist, his eyes flashing with a dangerous light. That is, if you have the skill to actually take it. Song An immediately sensed the killing intent rolling off of him. A powerful wave of energy blasted towards him, kicking up a storm of rock and dust. The ground cracked and splintered under the immense pressure. The archer smirked with satisfaction. When talking fails, leader Tiger Strength lets his skills do the talking. Good thing I dodged in time. That kid is toast. The guard quickly reappeared, shouting, no fighting is allowed in this area. But Tiger Strength gritted his teeth, sensing something was off. No, that can't be right. This feeling, it was blocked. As the dust settled, Solomon stood there without a single scratch, a faint smile on his lips. If you're unhappy with my demands, just say so. I can always add a few more. Deep down, he felt a surge of relief from a choice he'd made earlier. Good thing I upgraded my gear, or I never would have blocked that. I'm not some weakling people can just push around anymore. Across from him, his opponent stared in disbelief. How can a level 14 player be this strong? Is it some kind of special equipment? This kid is too strange. Looks like we have to play by his rules. Danian is more important. The archer cried out in shock. How is that possible? He's not even hurt. Martha, standing beside him, wore the same expression. Maybe leader Tiger Strength wasn't using his full power. Among them, Amun in a hat stared intently at Song An, his eyes gleaming. Tiger Strength clapped his hands once, his tone grudgingly impressed. Not bad. You've actually got some skill. Fine, you win. I'll give you half the rewards. Song An replied cheerfully. Great, you better keep your word. He casually waved the blue card in his hand. By the way, I got hurt just now. Since you attacked me without provocation, you owe me some compensation, right? He thought to himself. If you want to start trouble, don't blame me for finishing it. Tiger Strength gritted his teeth, his face darkening with fury. Are you done yet? He tossed an item towards Song An, his voice sharp with impatience. Let's go. We've wasted enough time out here. It was a small seed with a green-spotted shell, a C-rank demon flower seed. After planting, it grows a patch of flowers that automatically attack monsters. Song An glanced down at it. Well, it's better than nothing. Guess they don't have anything better. Tiger Strength's brow furrowed, his voice heavy. Are you satisfied now? He thought. Just wait until we're inside Danyan. I'll make you pay. The guard looked at Song An, his face completely unreadable. So, a total of 9 people are entering? Song An simply hummed in agreement. The guard quickly granted them access. All right, you may proceed. At the same time, Tiger Strength commanded his group, let's move. The guard even turned to Song An one last time. My friend, you'd better make it back alive. Song An gave a casual wave, completely at ease. I will. See ya, my friend. As he approached the entrance, he could feel the daggers the strategy group was staring at his back. He couldn't help but sigh to himself. Looks like this is going to be a real pain of a dungeon run. The massive doors of Danyan rumbled open, a gust of wind whipping at Song An's clothes. But the me of today has nothing left to fear. A system notification popped up. You have entered the desolate swamp. The system again displayed the details for the special class. Dual Mind. The innate talent skill of the mighty Dual Mind. Passive. All stats are increased by 100%. Passive. When unlocking skill slots, you gain double the amount. Beside it, the detailed description of the pass reappeared. Anti-solo player pass can prevent NPCs from blocking entry into high-risk dungeons, but first, you must have a teammate. If you bring your teammate along, they will surely be extremely grateful to you. At the dungeon entrance, water dripped down the stone cliffs. A party of silhouettes materialized before the entryway. Inside, the air was unnervingly cold and still. Hugh Luke, leading the charge, took a hard look around. This dungeon felt different from all the others. The team's archer began scouting every shadow. There was no dimensional gate here. It was all one solid space. But for Song An, a strange sense of familiarity washed over him. Actually, it was almost painfully familiar. Memories from his past life flooded Song An's mind. Back then, this place had the most bugs in the entire game. He pulled so many all-nighters fixing it, he almost died from overwork. Yeah, not exactly his fondest memory. Suddenly, Hugh Luke's eyes narrowed, a single bead of sweat rolling down his face. Attention. 10 o'clock, on your left. The tension in the desolate cavern skyrocketed. Is that the boss? A massive figure had appeared, sparking whispers among the group. It looked like some kind of beast, but it wasn't moving. We probably haven't entered its aggro range yet. Man, you scared me. I thought we had a boss fight right at the entrance. He turned back to his team, giving careful instructions to avoid the boss for now. They'd save it for last. Let's find the ore vein first. Then Hugh Luke looked at Feng and Chen Dong, the two carrying huge backpacks. He called out, Hey, you two newbies, stand guard here. Once we find the ore, we can get to work. One of them quickly replied, Got it. Song and glanced at them, sizing them up internally. So he wasn't the only new face here. Judging by their gear, they were merchants, probably brought along just for the pre-boss grind. A cold wind howled from deeper within the dungeon, carrying a low growl. Song An and Hugh Luke both sensed the change instantly. They're here. A swarm of insects burst from the darkness, and the party snapped into formation. All hands, monsters incoming. The insects were mosquitoes, but each one was abnormally huge. It's mosquitoes. They had blood-red eyes, their wings beating with a menacing buzz. Level 18 to 21 sword proboscis mosquitoes. They were named for their needle-sharp mouths, fast flyers that could drain your blood in seconds. Hugh Luke crouched low, his voice a commanding roar. Let's go, people. He launched the first attack himself, blasting a fiery fist into the swarm. Martha and another member charged forward at the same time. Captain, you let too many slip by. They moved in perfect sync, each one taking down a giant mosquito. But just then, another one materialized right behind her. A pale green light flashed, instantly blasting it to pieces before she even knew it was there. The archer who fired the shot lowered his bow, muttering, God, I hate these insects. Song An watched them carefully, making his own private judgments. Their teamwork was impressive. To have this level of coordination after just a dozen days, the strategy team really knew how to pick 'em. He even noticed the support team, healers at the ready. The team's mage chanted carefully, his staff beginning to glow. Force of the blazing flame, grant me your blessing. A roaring inferno erupted from his staff, incinerating the entire swarm in an instant. Song-an couldn't help but be a little surprised. He hadn't expected them to have a dedicated mage. This group's class distribution was perfectly balanced. He knew all too well how crucial that was. A good class setup meant adjusting roles based on personal skills and understanding. You needed long-range attackers, close combat fighters, and magic users. For example, equipping magic gear with magic skills and attributes maximizes a mage's effectiveness. The same principle applied to every other class. Song-an's gaze darkened as a thought crossed his mind. Suddenly, he felt a flicker of interest in this strategy team. Their combined strength was far greater than any single person's. Just then, a terrified scream echoed through the cavern. Feng was panicking as a lone mosquito cornered her, trying to fend it off with a small knife. How did one get over here? Chen Dong, standing nearby, pointed her own knife at the monster. I'll help you. She tried to block its stinger, but cried out helplessly. Hurry. But the guy next to her just froze, stammering, I don't know what to do. Seeing the sharp proboscis inches from her face, she squeezed her eyes shut and screamed. In that instant, a flash of light sliced the mosquito clean in two. Song-an stood there, sword in hand, asking calmly, You okay? Still in shock, she stammered. Why, yeah, I'm okay. He looked directly at Feng, giving him some pointers. These things hit hard, but they don't have a lot of health. Just aim for the abdomen and you can take them down. Inwardly, however, he thought, a merchant's combat ability really is a huge liability. The girl, Chen Dong, was quick to make excuses for their performance. Yeah, but we're not combat classes. Besides, these monsters are way higher level than us. She then introduced herself. My name's Chen Dong, and he's Feng. We were brought on to craft equipment. Her eyes were still glued to Song-an, full of admiration. But wow, big brother, you're amazing, aren't you? You took that monster out so easily, and you even went toe-to-toe with the vice leader earlier. What are you really here for? He avoided her intense gaze, trying to hide his true intentions. I have my own reasons, but only one thought was actually on his mind. I wonder if this thing dropped any items. A faint glimmer caught Song-an's eye, and he knew he'd found what he was looking for. There it is. He bent down to grab it, but another hand shot out first. Feng and Song-an looked up at each other, both surprised. Oh, realizing her mistake, she quickly offered the item to him. Sorry, I saw a drop and just reacted. This is yours, you're the one who saved me. In her hand was a shriveled mosquito leg. Mosquito leg. Item type, miscellaneous. The leg of an iron proboscis mosquito can be sold to merchants for a certain amount of crystal coins. Song-an accepted it with a friendly nod. Well, don't mind if I do. He was already calculating its worth. It might just be a mosquito leg, but every little bit helps. At least I can sell it for some coin. Can't let anything go to waste. In contrast to Song-an's calm demeanor, Feng's face broke into an excited grin. She carefully hid her other hand behind her back, where a faint light was glowing. That brief touch was all I needed. My steal skill lets me take any one item from a player's inventory, as long as I make direct physical contact. A dangerous, calculating glint appeared in her eyes. Even if you don't say it, I can tell you're loaded with good stuff. No ordinary player could fight the vice leader of the strategy team to a standstill. If I can swipe even one C-rank item, I'll be set. Meanwhile, Luke crushed a mosquito in his fist and let out a sigh. Finally, this wave is over. But the archer suddenly shouted, Luke, look over there. His powerful voice echoed through the cave. Hey, you guys, get over here. We found the ore vein. That got Song-an's group moving. It seems like the monsters don't respawn near the ore in this map. Chen Dong turned to her partner, urging her quietly. Feng, let's go. Shaken from her thoughts, she quickly agreed. Oh, right. Feng's eyes darted down as a drop of sweat ran down her forehead. Looking at the small glass vial of white powder now in her hand, she wondered. Strange white powder. What's this for? Footsteps echoed in the quiet cave, which was filled with mineral deposits. The leader scanned the area, commenting with satisfaction, I can't believe it's this easy this time. Usually, you have to kill the boss before you can mine the magic ore. This time, the vein is in the safest zone. With that, Luke ordered Chen Dong and Feng. You two can start mining now. If you can craft any C-rank equipment, we'll buy each piece for 200,000 crystal coins. The boy's face lit up at the price. 200,000? You bet, I'll give it my all. But Feng was secretly watching Song-an's every move. He, however, was lost in his own thoughts. Entrance, ore vein, swamp. All right, so we're here. Luring out the boss is going to take some work. Looks like it's time to use that powder I bought from Adong. But just then, someone calls his name. Song-an. He whips his head around, annoyance written all over his face. Song-an was totally thrown. Since when did these guys know his name? Who Luke stands there, hand on his hip, pointing right at him and calling him out. You know, I've always been curious about something. The fact that you blocked my landslide skill means your strength and agility stats are at least on my level. A murderous aura instantly flared up around him, his eyes turning ice cold. So your gear must be insane. Which just makes me want to take it even more. Playing it cool, song, and deadpans. What gear? I just got lucky. Something felt really off to him. Asterisk, so they're finally showing their true colors, huh? Asterisk. Just as the guy spoke, two of his goons appeared, blocking the path. Lucky, we'll see about that. But for Song An, this was hardly a problem. Fine by me. I was looking for some guinea pigs for my new item anyway. With a calm expression, he quietly commanded, "Open item window." Seeing this, Luke immediately barked an order. Don't let him use an item. Surround him. But just then, Song An's eyes shot wide open in disbelief. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Wait, it was right here. Where the hell did my powder go? Song, and sidestepped, effortlessly dodging two slashes from two different directions, his gaze snapping towards the two spellcasters. Asterisk, can't worry about the powder now, asterisk, he thought. Using his acceleration skill, he charged straight through the flames. Asterisk. First, I'll deal with these punks. Asterisk. The fire mage yelled a warning. That brat is coming through. The beefy guy standing nearby scoffed. What a stupid move. The archer took aim, muttering to himself, guess he's just getting desperate. Rushing right into a crowd. I'll put an arrow right through his skull. But Songan just smirked. He knew they were all exactly where he wanted them. Then, he reached out his hand and unleashed his black smoke. Luke knew this was bad and yelled, "Everyone, fall back," but he let them know it was already too late. The black smoke billowed out, blinding the archer instantly. He let out a piercing scream. As the arrow flew towards Song An, a system window popped up. Attack failed. Seeing this, he thought to himself, asterisk. The difference between level 1 and level 3 black smoke is night and day. All those crystals were totally worth it. Asterisk. Then, a system notification appeared. Increased effect of level 2 black smoke. The range has been expanded to a 4-meter radius. The skill lasts for 16 seconds and can control any character for at least 3 seconds. Increased effect of level 3 black smoke. The range has been expanded to a 5-meter radius. The skill lasts for 20 seconds and can control any character for at least 3 seconds. There's a 50% chance to evade attacks from characters affected by the blind status. Every enemy in front of him was now blinded. But Luke stubbornly commanded, "Everyone, form up on me. Watch out for a sneak attack." The others shouted their confirmation. Luke called out, "Bah." The archer, still blinded, immediately began casting. Got it, dispelling the debuff now. But after the cast, he was still blind, cursing under his breath. "You just got lucky, you bastard. I'll get you for this." The words had barely left his mouth when Song An sliced off his arm in one clean motion. He had to stop the archer's plan. Healing spells required channeling energy through a hand or a weapon. By taking his arm, Song An had completely disabled his skills. The archer was now just writhing on the ground in agony. But Song An felt zero pity. He knew these guys were all cut from the same cloth, undeserving of mercy. Hearing the screams, a teammate yelled, "Bah, I'm coming for you, you son of a bitch." But the girl in their group held him back. "Don't move recklessly. This is all part of his plan." They tightened their formation as Luke ordered. "Watch every angle." Song An sized up the new situation. Asterisk. This isn't good. They're on high alert now. Asterisk. Taking them down quickly is going to be tough. Plus, I have to watch for a counterattack. Asterisk. If only I still had that powder. Asterisk. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps made him jump. Huh? Looking at them, Song An thought. Asterisk. And then there's these two merchants. Asterisk. The blonde one trembled. I'm not with them. Don't kill me. The other one, clearly a girl in disguise, said, "Don't come any closer. I'm not afraid of you," he replied. "I'm not some psycho. Why would I kill you? Unless you're planning on doing something to me?" Then Song An remembered how they'd bumped into each other earlier, and a thought clicked. Asterisk. Actually, that's a real possibility. Asterisk. He spoke up. "Feng, can I confirm something with you?" The question startled the disguised girl. "I'm missing an item," he stated. He then demanded, "Let me see your skills and your inventory." The request made the girl's face go pale. Panicked, she decided to bolt, shocking her companion. "Feng." Song An powered up, a grin spreading across his face. "So you admit it. That makes things easy." He activated his acceleration skill. She glanced back while running, only to see Song An appear right behind her, slamming her face first into the ground. Pinned, she screamed, "Ow, ow, ow, ow. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Don't kill me." He pressed his sword to her neck and asked, "Where's the powder?" She whimpered, "It's in my pocket, but I can't get it while you're pinning me down. Let me go and I'll give it to you." Song En didn't buy it and started patting her down himself. "Nice try. I'll find it myself." This made her blush and shout, "Hey, wait, stop touching me everywhere, you pervert." When he pulled out the vial, even he was surprised. "Oh, so it was real. Now get off me," she yelled. Song En replied, "Since you confessed, I'll let it slide this time." She scrambled to her feet, still fuming. Pervert. Anyone could see she was a girl in disguise, except, apparently, the guy right on top of her. He wondered, pervert. Did I misunderstand something? Come to think of it, hasn't the black smoke effect worn off by now? The blonde guy suddenly screamed, "Wait, this has nothing to do with me." He was talking to Feng. One of the enemies didn't care and charged, skewering the blonde guy. "You're all going to die," he roared. The poor guy collapsed onto the ground. The attacker screamed, "You did this to my brother, you son of a bitch. I'm going to tear you to pieces." Chi Huluk tried to calm him down. "Hey you, we will get revenge for Ba." Then, filled with rage, he declared, "Your control skill has a range limit. Now that we know your weakness, you're finished. It's time to send you to hell." But Song En wasn't scared at all. "Good. I was planning on finishing this anyway." Chi Huluk yelled his orders. Use long-range skills to wear him down. Force him to show an opening. Song and curse them. Cowards. The girl asked, terrified, "What are we going to do?" While blocking attacks, he shot back, "Find a place to hide. I don't have time to babysit you." Chi Huluk ordered, "Don't give him a second to rest. Keep attacking." Song and immediately opened the vial he'd just recovered. You think this is enough to beat me? He thought. Then, Song En tossed the vial right into the mage's fire. Boom. He stood off to the side, smiling. Now the real show begins. The beefy guy was stunned. What the hell? What was that? Just how many tricks does he have up his sleeve? The fire mage covered his nose. This thing stinks. The guy seeking revenge was absolutely furious. It smells like death. How dare you insult me like this? I'll make you pay with your life. Suddenly, one of them screamed, "Not good." Everyone, look up. Giant mosquitoes swarmed down, surrounding them. The monsters. They're all gathering here. Chi Huluk yelled, "Damn it, it's a monster lure. Prepare for battle." The mosquitoes descended on the vengeful guy. He swung his weapon wildly, shouting, "Why are these monsters acting so crazy? That cowardly son of a bitch." Suddenly, something wrapped around him, and he was violently dragged away, screaming for help. "Help me!" His teammates yelled his name in panic. "AU." A giant frog was the culprit, reeling him in. It was the boss, the level 24 ruler of the venomous bone toads. The guy was instantly devoured by the frog. As the boss appeared, a warning flashed. Danger. The others screamed, "Holy crap, it's the boss. How are we supposed to fight this?" Chi Huluk raged, "Where's that bastard Song En? Where did he go?" The frog immediately turned its gaze on them, and the fire mage was the next to be snatched by its tongue. Meanwhile, as the monsters swarmed the enemies, a notification appeared. While the bug exploit Easter egg is active, a hidden space will be created, undetectable by the outside world. A classic Easter egg, just a little tweak to turn a bug into a feature. "What are you even doing here?" Song En demanded. "Get out. Now." But she just pleaded, "It's way safer with you. You know how insane it is out there. Just let me stay, please." He wasn't having it. "After you ripped me off, I can't trust you." She swore, "I promise I won't pull anything shady. Look, hands behind my back." "Good enough." Song En gave her a final warning. "You better keep that promise, or you know exactly what'll happen." As he got closer, she got all flustered. I know," she stammered, thinking, "He's way too close." Song En sighed internally. Whatever. Just let her stay. Kicking her out now would just give away their position. Besides, how did she even squeeze in here? Is this kid made of water or something? Outside, voices screamed, "Maha! Guojie!" A wicked grin spread across Song En's face as he muttered sarcastically, "Looks like this fight's about to have a winner." What Song En had tossed earlier was a mother bean bug, crushed into a fine powder. The stench of decay was nauseating, but to monsters, it was an irresistible perfume, the perfect lure to gather them in one spot. Its effect is even better with fire, an item sold only to those with special needs. One hunter was sucked into a dried-up husk, while the toad turned a woman into a pile of goop as her teammates screamed in horror. Maha. Why? Fending off a swarm of mosquitoes, Chi Huli raged internally. How How did our perfect teamwork get shattered in a second? It's all that damn brat's fault. Asterisk. Asterisk, son of a. Asterisk, he thought, then bellowed, Song-an, get your ass out here. As if our main character would be dumb enough to just walk out. The giant toad immediately turned its gaze on him, but Chi-Huli didn't even flinch. Don't think this is over, he roared, flexing so hard his sleeves ripped apart. He then threw up a barrier to block the toad's tongue, declaring, You're celebrating way too early. As he pushed the tongue back, Huli let out a primal roar. Hiding behind cover, the girl trembled. Asterisk, that form. It's terrifying. Asterisk. But Song-an just coolly observed. Asterisk. So that's his second skill. Body enlargement. Asterisk. He knew the skill lasted for 10 minutes and boosted all stats by 30%. It looked grotesque, but there was no denying its power, and Huli still had another skill he hadn't used. His conclusion. After enlarging, the range of his attacks also increases. It's a classic case of 1 plus 1 being greater than 2. The muscle-bound brute then charged forward, slamming a massive fist into the toad. Notifications flooded his vision. Gained 120 FB. Level up to level 13. Level up to level 15. The girl watched in disbelief. He's leveling up? Can he actually solo that boss? A boss isn't that simple, Song-an reassured her. But inside, he was thinking, Asterisk Chi-Huli is about to die. If I don't step in now, all the damage I dished out before will be for nothing. Asterisk. So Song-an gave his order. You're staying right here. Don't you dare get in my way. Her eyes widened in fear as she shrieked, What? You're going out there? At that moment, the toad readied its tongue for another strike, but the big guy caught it with his bare hands. Is that all you've got? He taunted the beast. Suddenly, a notification popped up. You have been poisoned. HP will continue to drop. Movement speed decreased by 20%. He started coughing up blood. Asterisk, damn, I'm poisoned. Asterisk Song, and watched as the toxins spread from where the tongue made contact. The toad stared Yuli down, as if to say, You're not getting away, little man. Then its tongue shot out like a spear, piercing straight through him. It flung his body across the cave, slamming him into the hard rock wall. With its target down, the toad retracted its tongue, and that's when Song-an finally stepped out. Hey, you stupid frog. He drew his sword, the blade glinting in the dim light. Don't get all relaxed on me. This isn't over yet. Song-an declared, I came all this way specifically for the reward you're carrying, so you better not disappoint me. The toad lashed out with its tongue, but Song-an dodged with ease. Come on, stupid frog, he taunted. Try and catch me. The girl yelled from her hiding spot, Hey, not that way. There's a whole swarm of mosquitoes over there. The bloodsuckers immediately swarmed Song-an, who just zipped right past them. Song-an just smirked. This was all part of the plan. System notifications began to appear. Enemy count exceeds 15. Player in danger status activated. Attack power plus 50%. Physical immunity plus 50%. Magic immunity plus 50%. As the sharp stingers hit him, another effect triggered. Blessing activated. Immune to all damage below 2% of maximum health. He finally stopped. All right, little mosquitoes, I'm counting on you. They attacked relentlessly, but their stings did 0 damage. When he saw the toad start snatching the mosquitoes out of the air, Song-an knew. Asterisk, it's working. Asterisk, it slurped down one of the bugs with disgusting satisfaction. A strange notification popped up. Easter egg activated. Snack time. When a large swarm of monsters attacks a target, the poison bone frog will compulsively attack its prey. No matter what it's doing, it has to sneak a bite. Seeing his chance, Song-an charged forward. He smirked, thinking, Asterisk. With all of them as cover, the poison bone frog will have a hard time even touching me. Asterisk. The toad let out a furious croak and attacked with its tongue. Song-an dodged it easily, and the tongue hit another mosquito instead. He activated his speed burst and closed the distance in a flash. His sword carved a deep gash across the toad's body, making it shriek in agony. And I'm not done yet, he yelled, unleashing a cloud of black smoke at the toad. A notification appeared. Poison bone frog has been blinded. Target's resistance is too high. Blind duration reduced to 10 seconds. Attack boost duration reduced to 1 second. As he swung his sword, he said, Half that time is more than enough. The system notifications kept flooding in. Blind duration plus 1 second, plus 1 second, and another 1 second. The girl could only stare with her jaw on the floor. Her mind was reeling. Asterisk, this is insane. He's completely crushing a boss. Asterisk. Then a confusing thought hit her. With his power, he could have just cleared this dungeon alone. Asterisk. If he takes all the rewards. Am I going to be left with nothing? Asterisk. A new resolve formed. No way. Where are the bodies of Huli's team? Asterisk. Asterisk, I have to at least grab some of their equipment. Asterisk, she looked around. Asterisk, I think. They're over there. Asterisk, but the muscle head wasn't dead, just knocked out. He was starting to move. Meanwhile, Song continued his relentless assault. When he was finally done, the toad was covered in wounds. He sized up the situation. Its health is critical, so it's gone berserk? Huh? Looks like it's down to its last quarter of health. The beast began to spew venom, coating its entire tongue in deadly toxins. But Song wasn't worried. Asterisk. It's fine, the mosquitoes are still around. Asterisk, but then, the monster started swinging its tongue wildly, a move that caught him completely by surprise. As he dodged, he thought, asterisk. So it's resorting to random attacks now? Asterisk. When the poison hit the ground, it changed from a dark to a light green. And Song froze. Asterisk. It's changing color. This poison can affect the environment. Asterisk. He kept dodging its frantic attacks, thinking, asterisk, damn. This scared away the rest of the mosquitoes. Asterisk. In the chaos, a single drop of venom splashed onto his hand. His face tightened. This is not good. A notification confirmed it. You have been poisoned. In that critical moment, the words of Tae Hui echoed in his mind. Asterisk. Environmental selection works both ways, wherever a potent poison grows. Asterisk. Asterisk. A corresponding antidote will also appear nearby. Wouldn't adding that to the game make it more logical and interesting? Asterisk. The system alert flashed again. Poisoned. Lose 5% of initial health every 5 seconds. Movement speed reduced by 20%. Song grit his teeth, thinking, asterisk, good thing I actually listened to Tae Hui and added the antidote plant to this map. Otherwise, I'd be totally screwed right now. Asterisk. Suddenly, the frog lashed out again. Its sticky tongue grazed his side, making him cry out, ah! He scrambled to get away from the disgusting thing. Once he was clear, another system alert popped up. Movement speed reduced by an additional 20%. Poison effect is stacking. He panted heavily, thinking, asterisk. That was just a scratch, but my speed dropped like a rock. Asterisk. Suddenly, his foot bumped against something on the ground. Huh. He looked down, and a system window instantly appeared to explain. It was a cattail, a plant that grows near water. Its uses include reducing fever, purifying toxins, and it can be synthesized into an antidote by a merchant. A huge grin spread across Song face. Asterisk. Isn't this the cure I need? Asterisk. He triumphantly snatched the plant. This is where my starting merchant class finally pays off, he declared. I can use raw materials anytime, anywhere. Then he shouted the command at the top of his lungs, craft. The system screen appeared. Quest complete. Small antidote acquired. Blindness effect has been lifted. The giant frog, its vision suddenly restored, let out a confused croak. It then spotted Song, who was still commanding the system to craft something. The frog roared in fury, then launched its massive body right toward him. As he stood in its enormous shadow, Song screamed, wait! The ground shook violently as the monster crashed down with a deafening thud. Song teleported aside just in the nick of time. His heart pounded in his chest. That was too close. I was almost turned into a meat paste. Furious that it had missed, the frog suddenly let out a bizarre series of croaks. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Instantly, thousands of faint lights appeared around it, forming a strange circle that trapped it in place. It struggled desperately, trying to break free. Watching from a safe distance, Song wondered, what's going on? Another system notification popped up. Invalid. Invalid. Movement is restricted in this area. That's when it all clicked. He thought to himself, looks like they still haven't fixed this bug. This dumb frog. Its leap didn't just miss me, it triggered a glitch that got it stuck. I spent forever testing this part of the game. I can't believe I missed this bug. But right now, it's a total lifesaver. As he thought this, Song drank the antidote he just crafted. A system message confirmed poison effect has been neutralized. After finishing the potion, he saw his chance. A rare opportunity. While you're stuck, I'll take your life. Tossing the empty vial aside, Song lunged toward the frog. A streak of light shot through its body, and red liquid gushed out everywhere. He cursed under his breath, stupid frog. A barrage of light beams then pierced the monster's body. It let out a final, pained cry. Gah! As the giant frog collapsed, a flood of system notifications appeared. Poison Bone Frog defeated. Level up. Level up. All stats restored. Song let out a sigh of relief. That was way easier than before. I've definitely gotten stronger. He walked toward the fallen beast with a grin. And now, for the best part. Time to open the rewards. Scully, oh Scully, where are you? This boss's skill is actually pretty decent. It can slow you down and deal continuous damage. But my level is still too low. I've only unlocked one skill slot. What a shame. A system prompt appeared before him. First skill slot for the golden merchant class is empty. Acquire the ephemeral poison skill. Song An's eyes sharpened. Huh? Don't I already have black smoke? Another skill slot. Does that mean each class gets a total of 4 skills? 1,000 calculations raced through his mind. The system registered me as a merchant class because I used craft. I only designed that as an Easter egg. I never specified the exact number of skills. I can't believe the system defaulted to giving every class 4 skills. This has to be another bug. He couldn't help but smile. 4 extra skills, just like that. This is insane. At that moment, a thug dragged Fong forward. She struggled, but it was useless. Let me go. It wasn't my fault. Let go of me. Chi-Hu Li grabbed her and faced Song An. I'm surprised you actually killed the boss. But thanks for the help. Because of you, I leveled up and got back to full strength. Song An glared at him, his mind racing. This guy wasn't part of my plan. I never expected Chi-Hu Li to still be alive. The man's face twisted into a sneer. I also caught this little rat sneaking around trying to steal equipment. So what do you say? Want to trade that gear for your little sidekick? But Song An's reply was chillingly calm. What makes you think she's with me? Still in his grasp, Fong screamed. Let me go. I told you, I have nothing to do with him. Hu Li broke into a wicked grin. Oh, so you're not together? All right then, that makes you useless. The moment he finished speaking, he slammed a fist into Fong's stomach. The girl coughed up red liquid. Another punch sent her flying across the room. She collapsed onto the floor, completely broken. Song An just stood there, watching the show without a word. He silently observed Hu Li's every move. After taking down Fong, the thug laughed. Looks like you're pretty cold-blooded yourself, not wasting your breath on someone useless. Now, let's settle this with our fists. You got lucky last time. This time, I'm going all out to kill you. Only one of us is walking out of here, alive today. No problem, Song An replied coldly. If a fight is unavoidable, let's make it quick. This is the perfect chance to test out my new skill. Hu Li's confidence wavered, he thought, his voice trembling internally. What is he talking about? He got another skill? But isn't he just a normal class? Song An had already begun the incantation, leveling up his new ability. The system responded instantly, displaying a flood of information. Ephemeral poison. Rank S. Skill level 1. Can imbue a weapon with a poison effect. Duration 1 hour. Cost 25 poison MP. After the weapon deals damage, it applies a poison debuff to the target. Target loses 5% of their initial health every 5 seconds. Effect can stack. Also applies a movement speed debuff for 10 seconds. Skill can be upgraded to a maximum of level 3. Ephemeral poison. Level 2 upgrade. Slow effect is boosted to 30%. If the poison is cured, it instantly deals damage equal to 20% of the target's initial health. If the poison effect hits the environment, the toxin can linger on surfaces for a short time. Ephemeral poison. Level 3 upgrade. Slow effect is boosted to 40%. Each time the poison effect is triggered, the skill user's next attack gains an additional 10% damage. This is registered as true damage. Hu Li's jaw dropped as he watched Song An activate the skill. His mind raced with panicked calculations. Maxing out an S-rank skill in an instant. Doesn't that cost millions of star coins? Dangerous. This guy is way too dangerous. I can't give him an opening. He immediately screamed the command to expand his own power. But Song An's poison-laced blade was already at his throat. Too slow, Song An whispered. A single slash cut through him, sending red mist into the air. Hu Li's system windows flashed frantically. Critical hit received. Skill casting interrupted. Poison effect activated. Slow effect activated. Song An stood back, his voice like ice. So this is the vice leader of the strategy team? Pathetic. He blurred past him in a flash. Several new cuts appeared on Chi-Hu Li's body. He trembled, then collapsed to the ground, his face a mask of disbelief. He started laughing like a madman, muttering, I really lost. The sound was unnerving. Song An turned back. What's so funny? But all he got in response was more of Chi-Hu Li's unhinged laughter. Though gravely injured, he grit his teeth against the pain, his voice seething with rage. I finally get it now. You and Li Zhurui. You're both the same. He continued his accusation. You're both game designers, aren't you? Song An stood his ground, answering calmly. It's true that I participated in the game's design. But what does that have to do with anything? He asked, genuinely confused. Hearing this, Chi-Hu Li turned to face him, his eyes burning with hatred. I thought I was strong, that I had a special class. I even thought I was a genius player, finding all sorts of ways to craft equipment. But in the end, I'm nothing compared to you devs. He clutched the wound on his stomach, but couldn't stop the bleeding. Chi-Hu Li pressed on, his voice strained. Now I understand. You created this game just to show off your own creations, treating everyone else like lab rats. Looking at the man kneeling in a pool of his own blood, Song An remained unmoved, replying without a shred of pity. I don't really understand what you're trying to say. The man stared at Song An, his eyes filled with pure rage. Powerless to do anything, he let out a sharp, ragged breath. Chi Hu Li's face was twisted by pain and anger, but he managed to raise his middle finger and spit out one last curse. Go to hell. A system alert flashed across his vision. The poison effect activated, tacking on 21 points of fatal damage. Instantly, that defiant smirk vanished from his face. Blood erupted from his lips as he crashed to the ground. Another notification popped up. Player Chi Hu Li has been eliminated. Song An just watched the scene unfold, a cold, indifferent smile playing on his lips. He thought to himself, could someone really make this game a reality? But then, something clicked. His expression hardened as he pieced it together. Wait, I think I remember who Li Jirui is. He was the golden boy from his old company, a total rock star in the eyes of his coworkers, the genius of the office. The memories came rushing back in fractured pieces. A blonde-haired guy appeared, surrounded by people, and a flicker of confusion crossed his mind. We've barely even spoken to each other. He recalled the guy's words. The game doesn't conflict with reality. It actually complements it. The guy had acted so mysterious, his confidence unwavering. If I were designing it, New World wouldn't just be a game. But the doubts still lingered in his mind. The only thing that stuck with me was what he said. Song An's expression grew serious as he pieced it together, adding in what Ki Ho Look described. It's highly likely he's connected to this world. I bet his current class and abilities are no joke. Suddenly, a figure with pink hair lying on the ground stirred, catching his attention. He's still got some fight left in him, he thought, watching the person struggle to their feet. Then, the figure reached up and removed their helmet. Seeing their face, Song An was completely stunned. Wait a sec. That's Fong. She was clearly struggling, breathing heavily from her wounds. Please, help me, she pleaded desperately. I think my internal organs are ruptured. Song An's face flushed red, remembering how he'd held her just moments before. He's a girl? He thought frantically. Well, what you don't know can't hurt you, right? Fong propped herself up, her whole body trembling as she spoke between ragged breaths. Do you have any small recovery potions? I've already used all of mine. I'll pay a high price for it. But he just stared back coldly, answering slowly. Potions only restore health points and fix external wounds. They do nothing for internal injuries. Song An scanned her up and down, his tone impatient. I have another way to heal you completely. But it depends on what you're willing to give up. I haven't forgotten that you tried to steal from me. Hearing this, Fong gritted her teeth, wincing from the pain and a pang of guilt. Her brow furrowed in frustration. Do I really have to hand over everything I've saved up? She thought, agonizing. It took me so long to get this much. But if I die, who will take care of little you? Still trembling, her voice was heavy as she offered a deal. I can give you the star coins in my pouch, about 600,000 N. It's all I have. Song An listened, silently impressed. For a normal person, 600,000 N was a massive fortune. Seeing Song An's silence, Fong used the last of her strength to shout, her voice filled with desperation. I'm begging you. I have to make it back alive. Someone is waiting for me. Her plea struck a chord with Song An. This is different from the impression I had of her. I thought she was just some common thief. But you can't fake the look in her eyes. Around them, massive mosquitoes, drawn by the scent of blood, were gathering in swarms. He scanned the area, making a quick calculation. Using the divine water would be a waste. There are still too many of these bugs to kill. But there's a way to solve both problems at once. Song An finally spoke, a warning in his voice. You better not go back on your word later. I don't like being played for a fool twice. The pink-haired girl could hardly believe it. You agree? She asked, her voice trembling with excitement. He didn't answer, simply turning away as he explained. But this method will take some time. Figure out how to hold on for a bit. She asked, confused. You're not using medicine? I never said I was. Song An shot back instantly. He walked further away, his voice echoing back. There's a plant by the lake. Its powder can stop the bleeding. At least it'll ease the pain. Powerless. Fong leaned against the ground, the agony overwhelming her. What are you planning to do? She asked, confused. Song An sounded annoyed. Why so many questions? Just sit tight and wait for your level up. A swarm of giant mosquitoes descended upon a monster's corpse nearby. Before him lay a monster covered in sharp armor, already defeated by his hand. The mosquitoes slowly closed in. Song An looked at his work with satisfaction, thinking to himself, with Ki Ho Look around, I didn't get a chance to claim my rewards. Time to upgrade my gear first. A sharp blade makes for a quick hunt. The system window popped up with the details. Long tongue bone, quality C rank, a reinforcement material used for upgrading weapons. Has a chance to increase the equipment's grade. Can only reinforce weapons of B rank or lower. To upgrade a B rank weapon, the tongue bone of a toxic bone toad is also needed. But why does a tongue have a bone? Lucky Toad Oil, quality B rank. A unique harvest. A special oil that can affect the body after use. It can increase any 5 stats, but also has a chance to decrease 5 random stats. The total change won't exceed 25 points. If your stats get nerfed, don't blame the name. After all, luck is different for everyone. A pouch of star coins. A money pouch containing 50,000 star coins. No further description needed. It's just cash. After reading the system notifications, Song An stared at the items floating before him, still a bit dazed. He swatted a few mosquitoes away as he thought, the long tongue bone can reinforce my bone blade. As for the toad oil, I'll save that for later. Getting a stat reduction right now would be bad news. He fiddled with the system interface and a new notification appeared. The bone blade is a B rank item. 1 additional C rank or higher reinforcement material is required. He examined the item in his hand. Looks like B rank weapons need more materials to upgrade. Song An stared at his gear, lost in thought. The special swallow crystal is also a C rank enhancement stone. Let's use that. He waved his hand, channeling his power toward the items and commanded the reinforcement. A moment later, the cave filled with dust and smoke, but Song An's face was clearly visible, radiating pure confidence. His weapon had been successfully upgraded. The system promptly displayed the new stats. Bone Slasher, Grade B. Attack plus 180. Perception plus 15. Special effect, Armor Pierce. Attacks ignore 30% of defense. Demon Hunter. Damage dealt to the demon race is increased tenfold. Whip Slash. After reinforcement, the bone blade can now perform ranged attacks, but ranged damage is halved. Song An held the blade, still evaluating it. Its stats were almost on par with an A-rank weapon. He glanced at the mosquitoes swarming nearby with a sly grin. Let's test this out on them. Song An's expression turned serious as he got into his attack stance, making a quick calculation. The range should be about 5 to 10 meters. Perfect for the whip slash. He unleashed the skill, swinging the blade. Instantly, the sword's segments separated, launching the attack at the swarm and obliterating them in a single strike. The mosquitoes fell in pieces, and the blade quickly returned to its original form. Song An's face lit up with excitement. So freaking cool, he exclaimed. Now I've got a ranged attack covered. Another objective complete, he thought with confidence and determination. The next goal is to grind levels, at least to level 30, to get 2 more skills. That'll give me an even bigger advantage. The blade in his hand continued to pulse with powerful energy. He stood tall, staring down the swarm before him, and spoke softly. Tai Hui will probably be really surprised. I wonder how she's doing right now. I miss our talks. With that thought, Song shot forward, his power cracking the very ground beneath him. I'll get stronger, then I'll go find her, he vowed. Meanwhile, in an underground parking garage, a group of people had gathered. In the center sat Iman in a mask. Has the time and place been confirmed? He boomed. Yes. The crowd roared back in unison. The masked man held up a photo of Tai Hui and said, "This is the girl. The weapon she's holding is definitely a high-grade item." The mask couldn't hide his sinister grin. "Whoever brings me her weapon, this ghost dragon will grant your every wish." Song An's face was dead serious, his blade a constant blur as system notifications flooded his screen. EXP full. Level up. He paused, looking up at the flashing windows above his head. EXP plus 120. EXP plus 120. EXP plus 120. His face went blank. What the heck? Why did the system language suddenly switch to a weird mix of English and Vietnamese? This place is so buggy. Another notification popped up. All monsters have been eliminated. Stage cleared. Standing amidst a pile of mosquito corpses, Song An still looked a bit baffled, but then shrugged. Well, whatever. A clear's a clear. Out of nowhere, a cheerful-looking big guy popped up with a huge grin. Boss Tong. Didn't expect to run into you again so soon. An was a little surprised, but played it cool. Yeah, just wrapped some things up. And thought to himself, no kidding. I just sold him that gear this morning. But on the outside, he just smiled brightly. So, how's business with that last batch of equipment? The big guy answered without missing a beat. Thanks to you, it's been a gold rush. I've already sold nearly a third in just half a day. The merchant chuckled, holding up 3 fingers. The Dongsan Guild bought most of it. Almost every single member grabbed 2 or 3 pieces. I even jacked up the price to 30,000 a pop. Anne's smile widened, a genuine flicker of amusement in his eyes. He laid on the praise thick. You've got a real talent for business, a master of squeezing pockets. Inwardly, he sneered. Dongsun Guild. Those thugs deserve to be fleeced. The praise got the merchant even more fired up. But get this, one of the 1,000 items they had was a C grade. Then they accused me of scamming them and tried to jump me. Talk about blaming others for your own bad luck. Good thing the system punished every last one of them. And listened quietly, putting the pieces together. So it was because of that Easter egg I left. With a smug look, he gestured behind him. My haul isn't as big this time. Just some raw materials from a few monsters. I'm sure you're not too picky, right? The big guy didn't hesitate for a second. He dropped his massive pack on the ground and threw it open. Inside was nothing but monster bones and fossils. He lit up instantly. Buy it? Of course, I'll buy it. You're a VIP. My main business is miscellaneous goods anyway. The gear was just a little side hustle. Seeing the merchant so pumped and casually slung an arm around his shoulder, his voice was pure temptation. Or, you could wait until I score some minerals for crafting. The mana crystals over there haven't even been touched yet. The merchant's eyes nearly popped out of his head. Deal. Absolutely. Same rates as before. Suddenly, a cloth pouch was thrust in front of Anne's face, followed by a sharp voice. It was Fong, fully recovered after hitting level 15. She handed the pouch to Anne, her expression reluctant. Here's the 600,000 won worth of items I promised. I keep my word. Thanks for saving me. She shoved the bag into his hands. Now, we're even, and accepted it graciously. No problem at all. Opening her item menu, she urged him. So, just take it and go. Then Fong turned to the merchant. I have some things I want to sell. The big guy's eyes lit up again. You got it. As long as it's legal, I'll buy it. And paused, a little confused. Didn't she just say that was everything? Did I get played again? She walked over to Kehoe Luke's corpse and lightly touched his arm. Then, she began casting some kind of item-finding spell on the body. Watching her, Anne's suspicion eased a bit. Oh, so that's the stuff she was talking about. Fong held up a dagger she'd just looted, inspecting it. Looks like this one isn't worth much. As if sensing their confusion, the pink-haired girl explained calmly. My skill is plunder. I can take one random item from the inventory of any player I touch, and I discovered by chance that it also works on corpses. She looked at Anne, her tone firm. I assume I can take these. It'd be a shame to let them go to waste. He just gave a flat reply. That wasn't part of our deal. Anne's expression grew thoughtful. In a normal game, a dead player would just respawn. There wouldn't be a physical body left behind. But this is reality. That plunder skill could be insanely useful. I'll have to rethink my approach to certain skills. The more she searched, the more annoyed she got. Why is all his loot just useless junk? My skill has a use limit on the same target, you know. Suddenly, a glowing blue sphere materialized in her hand, catching everyone's eye. Now what is that? Anne looked at her intently. Open it. Fong seemed confused. You mean this thing? Is it valuable? His expression was dead serious. Sometimes, what's inside is more valuable than its appearance. That's a memory sphere. It can store recorded images. He must have been carrying it for a reason. Inwardly, he was hoping. I wonder if this has info on Lee Chol-woo. Press the button on the top, and instructed. The blue orb hissed, releasing a cloud of white vapor as it opened. It's opening, she exclaimed. A beam of blue light shot out, projecting the image of Amon in a demon mask. Ho Luke, my friend. It's been a while. Have you given any more thought to our previous discussion? Anne's heart sank with disappointment. It's not Lee Chol-woo, but the merchant next to him couldn't hide his shock. That's the leader of the crew who bought all that gear this morning. The masked man's voice continued. Talent like yours is wasted under that guy. If we work together, with me on the outside and you on the inside, we can make you the new guild master of the strategy team. We'll become the greatest power in this new world. All its resources will be ours for the taking. And asked with a hint of suspicion. You're saying this is the leader of the Dongsun Guild? I can't believe Ki-Ho Luke had connections this deep. The masked figure in the projection droned on. How about this? To show my good faith, I'll give you a tip. On the location of an ultimate weapon. After all, we're cut from the same cloth, but whether you can claim it, well, that's up to you. At those words, Anne was instantly on high alert. An ultimate weapon? It couldn't be. An image of Jae-hae flashed on the screen as the voice spoke with a dark tone. The weapon is in this girl's hands. Anne's face twisted in fury as he screamed, I'm gonna tear you to shreds. Meanwhile, in a ruined city with crumbling walls and no buildings left standing, a portal of swirling energy opened, and 4 figures emerged. Sun Hayek stared at the item in his hands, skeptical. Jae-hae, are you serious? You're giving me the boss drop? A system window had already popped up. Left Greaves of the Wolf King. Quality C grade. Agility +12. Stamina +9. Special effect, Nimble. For a short time, your movements become lighter, granting a small chance to evade enemy attacks. Jae-hae turned to Sun Hayuk, her face beaming with excitement. You did the most work during the boss fight, so it has to be yours. That final blow you landed on the Wolf King. Bam. So awesome. A teammate standing nearby chimed in, agreeing. Totally. Flattered, he laughed and scratched his head, a little embarrassed. Aw, you're making me blush. Well, if you insist, I'll take it. Jae-hae quickly moved on. Let's split the rest of the loot evenly. Anyone have a problem with that? Another system notification appeared. Dan Duyen has entered a cooldown period. Everyone in the party agreed in unison. No problem. But suddenly, Xiaomei's voice cut in, dripping with annoyance. Why is my share so small this time? Are you sure you split it evenly? Hearing her complaint, Sun Hyuk shot back, his tone sharp with frustration. Xiaomei, can you just drop it for once? If you'd actually bothered to mine more mana crystals, maybe we'd all have more. It's always I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that with you. But Xiaomei wasn't about to back down, her voice rising in anger. You know perfectly well those mana crystals were mixed in with the corpses the Wolf King ate. The whole place reeked of rot. How was I supposed to stand that smell? The argument escalated, and Sun Hyuk's voice was laced with fury. But you're the only crafter in our party. Our lives depend on having good gear. Xiaomei shot back just as fiercely. So what? Now you're just gonna dump everything on me? Jae-hai, watching from a short distance, quickly stepped in to play peacemaker. Sun Hyuk, it's all right. Everyone, please stop fighting. She turned to Xiaomei with a gentle expression. At our current low level, mana crystals aren't that useful anyway. If we don't have any, it's no big deal. I know you worked hard too, Xiaomei. Here, you can have my share. We'll be counting on you to craft gear for us later on, after all. Then, while opening her system menu, she added, I'm going to find a place to rest. You've all done great work. Open map. Seeing Jae-hai's generosity, Sun Hyuk's anger subsided. If Jae-hai is okay with it, then I won't say anything more. But from a distance, Xiaomei glared at Jae-hai, her eyes filled with envy and contempt. Himph. Such a fake. We're supposed to be a team, but I'm the only one who ever gets blamed. So what if she has some high-grade weapon? Big deal. Everyone fawns all over her. It's disgusting. It would be great if that precious weapon of hers just disappeared. Then, a voice cut through the air. Speaking of the devil, they'd walked right into a trap. Gilong and his goons appeared. Weapons in hand and sinister grins on their faces, his voice dripping with mockery. First time we're meeting. I'm Gilong, leader of the Dongshan Guild. Their sudden appearance put Shi Hui's group on high alert. Dongshan Guild, she thought grimly. From the surrounding woods, more figures emerged, quickly surrounding the four of them. We're trapped. Though panic flared in her heart, Shi Hui forced herself to stay calm, asking, could there be some kind of misunderstanding? We have no grudge against you. Gilong and his lackeys just smirked, his tone dangerously playful. No grudge, we just want to borrow that weapon of yours for a bit. The mocking laughter of his crew echoed around them. Where's your weapon? Why not take it out and show us? Fear creeping into her voice, she clutched her arm protectively and refused. Sorry, I can't lend it to you. I'm just holding it for someone else. A nearby henchman whispered in Gilong's ear, Boss, that bracelet on her wrist, that is the weapon. I've seen it transform before. His interest was immediately piqued. How interesting, he mused. Looks like we've found ourselves a real treasure. Besides Shi Hui, Cheng Yong couldn't take it anymore and burst out. Have you guys got no shame? Ganging up on us like this is just straight up robbery. But hearing this, Gilong only let out a derisive laugh before his voice turned cold. Shame? All right, let's talk about that. Wu Jie. At his command, a man named Wu Jie lunged forward, launching his weapon as he answered, right away. The weapon shot towards Si Hui's group like a missile. Caught completely off guard by the sudden attack, they were frozen in place. The blow struck Cheng Yong square in the chest, sending him flying. Si Hui watched in horror, screaming, Cheng Yong. Gilong just watched with a cold amusement, his voice laced with scorn. Understand now. Around here, I am the law. As he gave a chilling order, take them alive. But don't kill them, she brandished the bracelet, shaped like a monstrous eye, and yelled, Everyone, get close to me. The bracelet began to glow as she whispered a desperate plea. I'm counting on you. A powerful shield erupted around her and her teammates, forcefully pushing back Gilong's advancing thugs. Shi Hui's face was a mask of determination, a silent vow that she wouldn't let him have his way. She quickly cast the shield to protect Sun Yue's group. One of the thugs yelled in fear. What's going on? Hearing this, Gilong barked an order. It's just a barrier. What are you afraid of? Keep attacking. His men exchanged hesitant glances, then nodded. Seeing them charge forward again, Sun Yue anxiously asked, Sie Hui, what do we do now? They're coming at us again. Should we go out and counterattack? She hesitated, analyzing the situation. There are too many of them. We're definitely outmatched. He gritted his teeth in frustration. Damn it. Our only option is to risk it all. With an MP of 0 and a shield of 15,600, Si Hui immediately stopped him. The shield can hold for a while. Let's wait until they're tired, then we'll figure out a way to escape. Suddenly, the item's information panel appeared. Eye of the Demon. Rarity, A rank. Necklace form, summons demonic power to create a powerful flame barrier. Defense rating is 150 times the user's strength stat. Consumes all MP. 2-hour cooldown. Special effect. Transformation. Can morph into a weapon. Once equipped, no other weapon can be used. After transformation, the user gains a new status effect, Demon Contract. Exchange power for a specific condition. The effectiveness is determined by the condition met. Meanwhile, the healer on their team was in a complete panic. Why is my healing causing more damage? He tried to heal his comrades, but every attempt backfired due to a curse. Afflicted with reflective torment, all healing was converted into damage. Wu Ji gloated smugly. So, my A-rank skill, Shadow Curse, isn't half bad, right? It's especially effective against healers. The situation was spiraling out of control. Si Hui gasped in shock. How can this be? Sun Yue scanned the area and suddenly realized something. Where's Xiao Mei? Didn't she get inside the barrier? Just then, a goon eagerly reported, Boss, we caught one of them. Xiao Mei, in a panic, held up her hands and yelled, Wait, I have something to say. Gilong praised his man. Good work. Bring her here. The rest of you, keep attacking. Sun Yue, guessing Xiao Mei was about to betray them, contorted his face in fury and roared, Xiao Mei, what the hell do you think you're doing? Suddenly, a warhammer flew out of nowhere, startling Sun Yue into silence. A burly thug panted heavily, asking in disbelief, Why is this thing so tough? My own gear is about to break. It's more durable than a freaking boss. Seeing the attackers slowly tire themselves out, Sun Yue's face lit up with smug satisfaction. How could a bunch of grunts like you ever break this? This is the power of a supreme-grade weapon. Feeling his authority challenged, Amon named Amon stepped forward. Let me handle it. I refuse to believe I can't break this puny shield. The guy next to him cheered. It's Goliath Amon. When he makes a move, you know you're in for a show. Sun Yue just scoffed, another one who overestimates himself. Ignoring the taunt, the man let out a mighty roar and unleashed a powerful punch. A fist wreathed in flames collided with the barrier, sending shockwaves through the air. But against the shield's invincible power, Amon could only admit defeat, pulling back his throbbing hand in pain. Sun Yu laughed triumphantly. See, got what you deserved, huh? I told you little runts couldn't do a thing. In contrast, Si Hui worriedly said, Sun Yue, maybe this isn't the best time to be so arrogant. Humiliated by the taunt, Amon's face grew darker with rage. You just wait. The second you step out of there, you're dead. Things weren't any better for Xiao Mei. Gilong swung his mace towards her, his voice a low threat. Talk. The menace in his tone left Xiao Mei speechless with fear. Then, he slowly approached her, his voice deceptively soft. How do I break this barrier? You would know, wouldn't you? But his actions spoke louder than his words, the mace in his hand, a constant, terrifying pressure for her to spill the truth. Sun Yue desperately yelled from inside the shield, Xiao Mei, if you still think of us as a team, don't you dare say a word. But without hesitation, Xiao Mei told them everything she knew. The shield's defense is incredibly strong. Unless the user wills it, it's almost impossible to break from the outside. Still skeptical, Gilong sneered. Oh, sounds like you need a little more encouragement. Xiao Mei quickly explained, no, that's not it. What I mean is, the more powerful an item is, the more glaring its weakness. Once, in a dungeon, this very shield was broken. She recalled the scene vividly. Once it shatters, the shield enters an extremely long cooldown period, and the weapon's other abilities are sealed. Understanding his opportunity, a cruel light flashed in his eyes. He commanded, well done. Attack with everything you've got. Sun Yue screamed in pure, unfiltered rage, Xiao Mei, you traitor. Xiao Mei, however, felt no remorse at all. A smug look crossed her face as she thought, if you have to blame someone, blame yourself for having such a flashy weapon. In this situation, surrender is the smartest choice. All they have to do is hand over the gear, right? Then, a storm of attacks rained down from arrows to lightning strikes. They relentlessly hammered the shield until, finally, a crack appeared. Under the constant barrage from outside, the cracks began to spread across the barrier, filling Si Hui's team with terror. Sun Yue announced in a daze, Si Hui, the shield. It's starting to crack. She had seen it too, responding in a fluster, it must be reaching its limit. Seeing his chance, Gilong excitedly gave an order, even throwing in a reward. It looks like it's about to shatter. Whoever lands the final blow gets 3 C-rank items. The situation changed in an instant. Panic seized Exu Hui as she made a silent vow. Songnan lent me this weapon. I have to return it to him in one piece. I can't betray his trust. The shield must not break. It was as if the eye of the demon was waiting for this awakening. And indeed, Si Hui's thoughts were consumed by one thing. I need power. As the thought crossed her mind, to her utter amazement, a beautiful demoness materialized before her amidst a sea of eyes like a vibrant, blooming flower. She spoke with an enchanting voice, the power you desire, I can give it to you. A slow smile spread across her lips as she explained, I can feel your intense craving for strength. The demoness before her was the cat demon. Shi Hui was stunned, stammering, You're the demon inside the weapon, but a deep sense of unease settled in her. I haven't even transformed it. Yet she appeared on her own. The demon, Lamu, glanced at the panicking teammates and made her proposal. The situation looks dire. The shield is about to break, your friends are in danger, and you are running out of time. With that, she drifted gracefully toward Hei. Her voice is sweet, tempting poison. Well, would you like me to unleash your true power? It only requires a small price. Lam Ho's persuasion was cunning. You want to protect this body of mine. To protect your comrades. Then, she closed the distance in an instant, gently lifting Hui's chin, her face a mask of alluring temptation. And the trust that person placed in you, right? A contract can solve everything. Just sign it. In this desperate moment, it was her only way out. She hesitantly agreed. I accept. Tell me. What are the conditions? Countless eyes snapped open in the void, twisting the space into a nightmare. Lam Ha's voice dripped with delight, your present and your future. Just as she finished, the shield shattered, but a colossal wave of magic erupted, strange patterns etching themselves onto the shield as it began to reform. With a gentle snap of her fingers, the shield was fully restored, gleaming as if it had never been damaged. The sight made both Sun Yue and Nanjie jump back in shock. He asked in disbelief, What the hell was that? In a flash, all the cracks on the barrier vanished. It looks even stronger than before. Meanwhile, Hui's magic index was skyrocketing, her power climbing to 176, plus 176. Thanks to her newfound power, the shield's durability jumped to 37,200. Exhausted, she whispered to herself. Looks like the contract was a success. But Hui's body had to bear an equal burden. The price manifested as chains, binding her tightly. Her stamina dropped to 1. Her drained attributes were converted into power, and she would gain no more stamina from leveling up. Seeing Hui was safe, her friends rushed over in a panic. Hui, what happened? Finally, she collapsed from the strain. Sun Yue and Yan Jai frantically ran to her side. As her consciousness faded, Hui could only lament in despair, this feeling of my stats being drained. It's agonizing. Luckily, Hui was only dizzy. Seeing her tremble, Sun Yue was so worried he was ready to start yelling. Hui, your stats. You've completely ruined your future. Why would you do something like that? She could only make an excuse to brush it off. But at least we're all still safe, right? Hui grabbed their arms, and the three of them stood defiantly, ready to fight back. Perhaps this was a gamble with fate itself. The scene left Gilong completely flabbergasted, his jaw hanging open. Sweat beaded on his brow as he roared. What is going on? That barrier was about to break. How is it perfectly fine now? Standing beside him, Wu Ji chimed in angrily, Damn it, I'm completely out of MP. Gilong spun towards Tiyumi, who immediately started waving her hands in fear, explaining, I don't know what happened either. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like this. A vicious glint flashed in his eyes as he gave an order. Call every last brother we have guarding the dungeon. Get them here now. Today, if I don't get that item, I swear I won't stop. In a forest not far away, a battered red car was speeding to their aid. Tong An sat inside as it barreled towards Hui's group. He had lost all composure, constantly shouting, Anjay Nam, can't this thing go any faster? His friend replied helplessly, the pedals already to the floor. Tong, and furiously slammed his fist against the car's frame, venting his rage. Damn it, damn it. Toa Fong flinched, not daring to move. Tong, and quickly tried to think of a solution. Using a teleportation, Easter egg is out. The conditions are too complex, right now. I can only send my voice. Tong An's face hardened as he prayed. Please. Just let them be okay. The sun began to set, casting long shadows over the buildings. After a tense standoff, heavy footsteps approached as the system announced the shield had been broken. Sun Yue stood in front, protecting the others, and declared fiercely, If you want to touch Wei, you'll have to go through our dead bodies first. Though terrified, Nanjie backed him up. Me too. The Devil's Necklace had entered a cooldown state, lasting 1 hour and 21 minutes. Combined with a contract that had completely drained her, Hui could only manage a strained smile. Right now, her attack and defense were both 0. Gilong's crew was also exhausted, but they still had the numbers, which only made him more excited. He sneered at them. And what are you going to fight me with? Hui's newly updated status screen appeared. See Hui, level 16. Class, Warrior. Health, 20 out of 20. MP, 12 out of 12. Class skill, Robustness. Passive. Acquired skill, Phantom Slash, level 1. Strength, 176, plus 176. Perception, X. Intelligence, X. Force, X. Agility, X. Remaining points, 0. Special effect. The Devil's Contract. After leveling up, no attributes other than strength will increase. Their team was down to just 3 people. Hui, Sun Yue, and Luk Nanjie. The Dong Sun Guild had one more member, and they pressed their advantage. Looks like you've reached a dead end. Despite the overwhelming odds, Sun Yue stood his ground, refusing to run. Don't come any closer. We're not afraid of you. Looking at the eye-shaped bracelet on Hui's arm, Guilong's greed was palpable. That piece of equipment is insane. It took so many of us just to break through it. Behind his demon mask, his eyes lit up with a vile smile. Just thinking about it becoming mine is getting me all fired up. Without a moment's hesitation, Guilong ordered his lackeys, Amon, Wu Jie. Kill those 2 clowns blocking the way. The 2 were clearly confused by the order and questioned him. Ha! Amon hesitantly tried to reason with him. Boss, that's not a good idea. Wu Jie also reminded him. Didn't you say before that we only rob people, we don't kill them? Annoyed by their whining, Guilong whipped around, his eyes glaring like headlights. Just do as I say. He must have used some kind of skill, because Amon and Wu Jie's eyes went blank, as if they'd been brainwashed. Soon after, they threw their heads back and began to laugh maniacally. Amon's eyes glowed red, a wicked grin spreading across his face, a sign of the violence to come. You know. For some reason, I really want to know what it feels like to kill someone right now. Luk Nanjie keenly sensed the shift. The whole atmosphere has changed. I think they're really going to try and kill us. Only then did Sun Yue begin to waver. Wait, can't we negotiate? Seeing the dire situation, Hui frowned, thinking, I don't want Sun Yue and the others to risk their lives for me. I'm sorry, Tang En, but for my teammates, I have no other choice. Then, she began to move her lips. Suddenly, a voice echoed out, Can you hear me? Hui, can you hear me? But it wasn't just Hui's group who heard it, the Dong Sun Guild heard it too. Guilong thought someone was playing tricks. He roared, Who's there? Show yourself. The recording continued. I know you ran into the Dong Sun Guild. The situation is critical, but I can't get there yet. Damn it, this recording has a time limit, so I'll be quick. The 3 of them froze, listening intently. Sun Yue vaguely realized this must be a recording containing a sender's request. Before I arrive, please, just buy me some time. Hui's eyes shot open. She knew that voice. It was Tong An. He tried to squeeze in his last sentence. 15 minutes. Just hold out for 15 more minutes, and I'll be there. Luk Nanjie was stunned. The voice. It stopped. Sun Yue cursed tongue and under his breath. Surviving for 1 minute is hard enough, let alone 15. How could he ask for something so impossible? Guilong heard the message and instantly understood their plan. He ordered Vukia to charge. Trying to stall for time, are you? You want to hold out? Let's see how long you can last. At the same time, Amon lunged at Sun Yue. He parried the blow while complaining about Tang En's fantasy. That Tang En is all talk. Even if he gets here, what can he do? Can he fight all these guys by himself? His opponent replied, You should know your place. Even if more of you showed up, it wouldn't change a thing. Vu Kiet swung his club viciously at Luk Nanjie, making him cry out in pain. Tiu Mi, who had betrayed them for the Dong Sun Guild, now stood behind Guilong, calling out to them, Sun Yue, I suggest you see the reality of the situation. Just hand over the gear and surrender. Then you won't have to suffer like this. She pressed herself against Guilong, trying her best to flatter him. Besides, with items like these, it's always the strongest who gets to keep them. Right, boss Guilong. He was extremely pleased by her words. Ha, you sure know which way the wind blows, don't you? The bar for joining the Dong Sun Guild is pretty high, you know. She replied in a soft voice. As long as boss Guilong protects me from now on, I'll do anything you ask. Sun Yue witnessed her complete reversal. He was utterly disgusted. Xiaomei, right now, the very sight of your face makes me sick. He threw a punch out of nowhere. Amon couldn't react, taking the full force of the blow. He let out a pained grunt as he slid back, digging his feet into the ground to stop his momentum and steady himself. Sun Yue summoned his staff, betting everything on the recording Song An had sent. Asterisk Song An, you better come through. Asterisk, he thought. Asterisk, I can only buy you 10 more minutes. Max. Asterisk. He held the staff defensively across his chest. For some reason, even though the guy was annoying as hell, he was way better than this trash. When Guilong saw Sun Yue preparing to resist, he let out a threat. It doesn't matter what kind of people we are, because you're about to be a corpse. Standing nearby, Xiaomei watched with keen interest as he pulled out the staff. Why have I never seen him use this staff before? Liu Zaihui asked quietly. Sun Yue, you're not planning to. He frowned, answering her firmly. Liu Zaihui, your stats are way too low right now. The best thing you can do is stay put. He used the tip of his staff to draw a circle around her. He hated resorting to this method. It brought back some seriously bad memories. As the two ends met, the circle erupted into a golden pillar of light, forming a barrier to protect Liu Zaihui. She watched in a daze as he said, "But if you're calling this a gamble, then I'm going all in." A tiny monkey instantly appeared and blew a horn, playing a tune called "A Lie That Breaks the Heart." In that moment, Sun Yue transformed into the legendary Sun Wukong. He gripped the staff in his right hand and declared with the great sage's iconic words, "This old master has returned." At the same time, the system announced the activation of Old Sun's Monster Evasion Circle. While active, the user transforms into Sun Wukong. The user gains a powerful taunt ability for 10 minutes. "If you've got the guts, come at me." Seeing him just turn into a monkey, Gilong laughed in his face. "After all that fumbling around, you just turned into a monkey. Are you the entertainment they hired for the party?" Sun Yue didn't even bother to answer. He ordered the little monkey on his head, "Little guy, give him a show." The monkey immediately lifted its horn. It let out a small test toot. What came next was a song so shocking it stopped everyone in their tracks. Asterisk. "Do you remember our vow? Beneath the moonlight?" Asterisk. Asterisk. "The promise of yesterday, that we'd never be apart. A love that brings pain, carrying us through this cruel world. Have you forgotten? Yesterday we were one. Today is only sorrow." Asterisk. Asterisk. "You left, and my life filled with agony, one more time. Remember our vow, beneath the moonlight." Asterisk. The power of the lyrics washed over the enemy team. The pink-haired guy rolled up his sleeves, looking furious. "I don't get it, but it feels like he's totally dissing us." The blonde guy felt the same. "I'm suddenly so ticked off." The dark-haired man growled, "I'm gonna crush that fat pig." After gauging everyone's emotional index, the system announced that the area had been successfully enraged. Sun Yue bravely yelled, "I'm right here. Bring it on." Asterisk. "A lie that breaks the heart. A lie that brings the pain." Asterisk. In an instant, swords and arrows, a hail of weapons, came flying right between his legs. Sun Yue quickly did the splits to dodge, exclaiming, "Holy crap! Why are you all aiming there?" Facing a massive army, he immediately started running for his life. "There are too many of them." The crowd behind him roared, "Don't let him get away." Scared to death, Sun Yue still found the energy to taunt his enemies. "Catch me if you can." They all lost their minds and charged after him. Only Gilong was clear-headed enough to see through his plan. He roared an order, "Get back here, you idiots. He's just stalling for time." As if in response, the monkey started playing its horn again. Asterisk Gao, "Oh, you eat your daddy's leg." Gao, "Oh." Gilong clucks like a chicken. Gao, "Oh." Gao, "Oh." Gilong's dumb as an ox. Asterisk. The system confirmed the opponent's status. Player Gilong has been taunted. Gilong was absolutely furious. "You're the one who clucks like a chicken. You're the one who's dumb as an ox. Tear him apart. Don't let him leave here alive." A yellow-haired lackey shot forward, bringing his blade down. Sun Yue reacted in a flash, sidestepping the attack. They hurled more weapons at him, but he just tumbled and rolled out of the way. They were giving it their all, but Sun Yue dodged every single time. They were beyond frustrated. What is going on? He's dodging every single attack. He's obviously fat, so how can he be so agile? Seeing them stumble around, failing to hit him, he smirked. "I dumped all my attribute points into stamina and agility. You really think you can catch me that easily?" The secret was also a skill he applied to his feet, plus the effect from the Wolf King's left leg, making him even more broken. The system confirmed his agility was active. As Sun Yue ran, he thought, "It's been about 8 minutes. Just a little longer. It's not impossible." But he was so focused on the mob behind him, he never saw Amon closing in from the front. By the time he turned back, a fist was already flying toward his face. Sun Yue's eyes widened in pure shock. "You got to be kidding me." He took a direct hit, and the force of the blow sent him flying. Amon and 2 others stood over him, taunting. "Run. Why aren't you running anymore?" As Sun Yue lay on the ground in agony, the monkey on his head played a sad little tune for him. Gu Randi sneered down at him. "Where's all that arrogance from before? All right, boys, it's time to show him what we're made of." At that moment, realizing encouragement wasn't working, Sun Wukong promptly said his farewells. "See ya." Sun Yue coughed up a huge mouthful of blood, thinking in despair, "This is it. I'm really dead this time." With the player unable to maintain the skill, the protective circle around Liu Zaihui vanished. The player is in critical danger. Deactivating Old Sun's Monster Evasion Circle. The second the barrier disappeared, Wu Ji strode forward to capture her. Liu Zaihui's voice was sharp as she confronted Gilong. "You got the equipment. Now let my friend go." He just held up the bracelet, admiring it. "I took this with my own power. It's mine, so what's the problem? And if it's mine, why are you talking to me about conditions?" Seeing his betrayal, she was furious. "You bastard." Gilong slowly walked towards her. "Let this be a lesson to you all. Never defy the Dongshan Guild. Liu Zaihui refused to surrender. She cursed him. You'll all get what you deserve. Gilong laughed like it was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. What I deserve. Are you pinning your hopes on that teammate who isn't even here yet? And so, what if he shows up? You think he can take on our entire guild? He stared at Liu Zaihui's defiant face for a moment, then suddenly grabbed her chin. You know, looking closer, you're not half bad. It'd be a shame for you to die. Be my woman, and I'll let you live. How about it? Facing this monster, she showed no fear, no submission, looking him straight in the eye. In your dreams, I would rather die than ever submit to scum like you. Enraged by her rejection, Gilong slapped her hard across the face. His voice was ice cold. You really don't know what's good for you. Gilong left them with one final command. She's useless now. Kill her, and let's go. Wu Jie grabbed her by the hair and replied, Yes, sir. He raised his spear and grinned at Liu Zaihui. I've never had the pleasure of one-shotting someone before. Guess I'll start with you today. Suddenly, a blade sliced through the air, along with a sharp command. Stop. The newcomer was Song An. Wu Jie took the full force of the slash, and blood sprayed everywhere. Hearing the scream, Gilong whipped his head around, only to see Song An catching Liu Zaihui, his teeth clenched in absolute fury. I'm so sorry, Liu Zaihui. Seeing the bright red handprint on her face filled him with overwhelming guilt. I couldn't protect you. He looked up, his eyes burning with pure killing intent. Dongshan Guild, I swear I will not share the same sky with you. In that instant, Song An activated 100 Li sound transmission. The activation condition required locking onto a target that was simultaneously over 100 Li away. The voice amplification level would be determined by the system. The effect could transmit one's voice to a designated location over 100 Li away, traveling at the speed of sound. However, the recording time was limited. Though the range was under 1,000 Li, about 900, the effect was still incredible. As the sun began to set, the tension thickened. Gilong tried to sound tough. You want to take on the entire Dongshan Guild. Big words for a little punk. But deep down, he was already afraid. Asterisk Wu Jie was killed instantly. Where the hell did this kid come from? Asterisk Gilong pointed his weapon at Song An as a threat. You think you can act all high and mighty by yourself? Even if you have others with you, the result will be the same. Hearing his threat, Lin Nan and Feng, who were nearby, began to panic. Now understanding the situation, Nam wondered why Song An would charge straight in to face the entire Dongshan Guild alone. Feng, however, just clutched his head in terror. That was way too close. I thought we were busted for sure. Back at the battlefield, Song An ignored Gilong, gently setting Tai Hui aside. This enraged the guild leader, who roared, Hey, I'm talking to you. You're not walking out of here alive today. Once Tai Hui was safe, he slowly stood up, fixing Gilong with a razor-sharp gaze. Enough with the pointless chatter. If you're going to make a move, then do it now. The moment he finished speaking, the rat leaped forward, and the system announcement flared to life. Seeing Rat-O, a wave of unease hit Gilong. That's a magic beast, but it looks like it's still just a juvenile. His lackeys started to panic. He can tame magic beasts as pets, Song An paid them no mind. He bit down on his own finger, and a single drop of red liquid welled up. Song An offered his hand to Rat-O, ordering, Drink. The creature obediently complied. Squeak, squeak. Yes, boss. The second it finished, its eyes began to glow fiercely as its whole body swelled to a monstrous size. Song An drew his weapon. He glanced at the grunts and issued a challenge. You can try and stop me. The soldiers immediately rushed towards Song An. Standing alone in their midst, he gave the command. Poisonous Widow's Spite. Song An spun, unleashing his weapon in a wide arc. A cloud of poison instantly enveloped Gilong's men. They screamed in agony as the system announced the poison effect had been activated. Watching them spew red fluid, Song An calculated his next move. Gotta end this fast. Then the system announced he had activated acceleration. Seeing Song An rushing towards him, Gilong screamed in terror. What are you all doing? Surround him. Amen. Amen's eyes had already turned red. He stepped in front of Gilong, declaring, You'll have to get through me first. Tong An just sighed, effortlessly weaving past all of them. A wisp of black smoke appeared, clinging to Gilong. The system announced, Gilong has been blinded. Tong An raised his weapon, aimed it at the guild master, and said, Checkmate. Meanwhile, Tai Hui was lying on Rat-O's soft fur. The giant rat grabbed Sun Yue and shook him, making him scream in fear. Easy, easy. I just broke a bone. Don't eat me. I helped Song An buy some time, you know. My meat probably tastes terrible. Through Sun Yue's eyes, Rat-O was a colossal beast, its savage gaze fixed on him as if it was about to swallow him whole. Sun Yue's mind raced in fear. This is terrifying. I was going to play dead, but this beast saw right through me. And now, every bone in my body is broken. I can't even move. Unable to speak, Rat-O could only use its claw to open a small vial. Seeing this, Sun Yue trembled. Are you trying to force-feed me some weird potion now? Is this Song An's order? Rat-O squeaked urgently. Squeak, squeak. Hurry up. He finally relented. I'll drink it. Okay, I'll drink. Anything is better than being eaten, he thought. The moment he swallowed it, the system announced a full recovery. Just then, Rat-O released him. Sun Yue jumped to his feet, overjoyed. My body. I can move again. Whoa, a full recovery potion. This stuff is incredibly rare, and Song An actually has some. Rat-O held up a small sign and squeaked at Sun Yue. Squeak, Master needs your help. Sun Yue pointed at himself in disbelief. Me? Back on the other side, Song An was still struggling against Gilong's forces. He roared, Get out of my way. One of the controlled men grabbed his leg, forcing him to struggle even harder as he yelled, Get off me. As he fought them off, Song An thought, I knew he'd have something prepared since he never attacked directly. But I never expected a disgusting mind control skill like this. He's making these guys attack me like maniacs, completely stripped of their sanity. Even the black smoke has no effect. Gilong shrieked his orders. Pin him down for me. Pin him down even if you die. A system notification announced that the sleep status had been lifted. His vision restored, Gilong's mind reeled with fear. That was too close. If I hadn't used that skill in time, I would have been dead. I can't believe he has control abilities, too. This guy's power is terrifying. My men can't hold out much longer. It looks like running is my only option. The guild members on the sidelines started to panic. Why are those guys acting like that? What did the guild leader do? Weren't we always just meant to be cannon fodder? With that realization, they broke into a full-blown retreat. I can't take this anymore. Someone screamed while running. I'm out of here. Wait for me. Seeing this, Gilong used his magic to force them back, shouting, All of you, get back here. He thought grimly, trying to run, You are all my pawns. They all fell under Gilong's puppet control and turned their sights on Song An. A sense of dread washed over him. This is bad. He can still increase the number of people he's controlling. This quantity already breaks the game's normal settings. There's a catch somewhere. Song. And shouted and charged back into the fray. Bon errand. Gilong screamed in terror. Stop the new ones. Stop him from me. Just as Song An was about to leap up and finish them, a hand grabbed his leg and pulled him down. Song An gritted his teeth. Not good. While Song An was swarmed by the mind-controlled mob, Gilong made his escape, cursing under his breath as he ran. Damn it. He pushed me so far, I had to use my entire force just to barely hold him back. What a monster. Damn him to hell. My guild, the forces I worked so hard to build, are all ruined because of him. I was planning to use these pawns for something much more valuable. He screamed into the wind, Song An, I'll remember this. Once things quieted down, Gilong hid behind a tree to plan his next move. But at least I got the super great equipment. With that and my class abilities, I can still make a comeback. Just then, a shield came flying out of nowhere, heading straight for him. The shield slammed directly into Gilong's face, knocking him to the ground. The shield's owner spoke calmly. You won't get that chance. Gilong stared in horror. You, weren't you dead? Why are you here? Sun Yue just smirked. Take a guess. He thought to himself. I can't believe Song An predicted even this. The guy's a genius. He then sneered at Gilong. So the guy who always acted so tough was just a pathetic coward all along. The scene changes. While Gilong's organization was making its move, another group was also keeping a close eye on the Dongshan Guild. On a skyscraper's rooftop, a hand reached out and popped the tab on a can. He took a long, satisfying drink. Ah, that's good. This was Bai Mu, level 19. His classes, Warrior and Metamorph. He was a fighter from Squad, one of the strategy group, and a senior programmer for the game company, Original W. A fist came down on his head. Are you just going to sit here slacking off? An angry voice snapped. This was Guki Nana, level 20. Her classes, Healer and Ode Butterfly. A healer in Squad 1. She was also part of the strategy group and a director at the game company.